Folks, this one is for you today, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. We have done it, folks. We have reached the season finale of season 11 of Vanderpump Hell, Vanderpump Rules, and we are going to do a full recap today. We are going to talk about a lot of things. I'm already coming in hot. Oh my goodness. What a sad, depressing, dark finale, which I think is very fitting for season 11. I am ready to burn this mother humper to the ground and exorcise these demons. And I don't know if we can put this to bed, but I am certainly willing to try to move on. My God, we have a 3-part reunion that starts this upcoming Tuesday, and then we'll officially be done. But we finally saw the finale. We finally got to see what Lala Kent said we would understand. We would understand exactly. We finally found out that Ariana is a serial killer, that she has been killing hobos in her spare time. And it finally got brought up in the last 5 minutes. And it turns out she is an awful, horrible human being. No, none of that happened. My God. Holy shit. Holy shit. Folks, we're friends here, right? We're friends. We're family at this point. I'm going to have my take on this, right? And you probably already know what it is. And if you have a different take than me, that's completely fine. We can shake hands. We can be friends. Let's not fight with each other. I fully support if you want to start a podcast and you can talk about how dead on that you think Lala was, but I do not. I feel like somebody got really lost in the sauce, and I am trying to rationalize why we saw what we saw, especially out of Lala. I mean, I feel like we have never had something so. I mean, this was on a silver plate this season. All you had to do was come together as women and say, hey, men are stupid. Stupid, dumb men. Stupid, idiot, dumb men. I mean, it was right there. It would have been so easy. We could have still moved on from there, but we could have just had one season where each time the women were around men, you say how horrible men are, and then you high five, and then we all laugh. And we go, yeah, no, you're right. The fact that we have women turning against women, you will never get me to understand the vitriol that was coming out of Lala Kent's mouth, and especially listen, if you don't want your heart palpitations to just explode, do not watch the Vanderpump Rules after show on Peacock, but I did. And within 5 minutes, Lala made it worse. Lala doubled and tripled down in a way where I was like, this seems so personal. Like, I feel like I am just missing a huge piece of information. I don't know. I don't know if it's just that we've all accepted that the men are dumb and that in some ways Tom Sandoval is irredeemable when it comes to female relationships, that we've like kind of accepted that. And now we are trying to pick apart the women. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And the thing is the camera, like I always say, by some weird alchemy, picks up the truth. Even if somebody is lying to you on camera, it will still pick up truth. You can kind of read it. You can sense bullshit a mile away when a moving image is captured. And we saw it. And listen, I'm not saying that Tom Sandoval is not completely irredeemable in life. There are probably so many good things about Tom Sandoval. They were not on display a lot this season, unless you count him paying for a sound man in this final episode. Yeah, dude, I flew in my sound guy. He's the guy that does Stevie Wonder's music, dude. Yeah, dude. There are just so many weird moments, and I just kept the show in this season almost forces you to break down the fourth wall yourself. We break down the fourth wall in this episode, but it almost requires you to think about this from a production angle. And I know Jeremiah, the producer, is taking a lot of heat because he's the one that actually had that discussion with Ariana on camera. And I don't know if that's necessarily fair, because I'm not standing up for production, but I will say they are trying to get a job done. And this season, really turned it like, and if you listen to the earlier episodes of So Bad It's Good, even before the season started, I said this is what it would happen. It would be a season of Ariana sticking to her guns, which she told us from the jump, and it would be production trying to find ways to get her to interact with Tom Sandoval. And the thing is, I could almost understand some of the anger if Ariana just refused to be in the same, diameter as Tom Sandoval. But no, she was around Tom Sandoval a lot, way more than I even thought she would be. You might not have liked, she wasn't there with a smiling face. And I don't know why it's the job of the woman to make sure everything's okay for the men on this show, but she was still there. She was in group scenes with this person. But yeah, we all knew that at some point Sandoval was going to try to jump out. What's up, dude? Hey, what's up, Ariana? What's up, dude? Hey, remember me, dude? 9 years? Anywho, San Francisco. Did you see the trolleys here, dude? Oh, Dan. I love his luscious locks, dude. Yeah. What's up, Dan? Put her there, dude. It's me, T. Sandy. What's up, dude? What's up? Anywho, like we knew that was going to happen, but we also knew Ariana's reaction. And Ariana has nailed it. And I think maybe that's the thing that potentially gets some people upset, and maybe even Lala, is that when somebody is completely straightforward without a lot of the bullshit, it's aggravating. And it's the same vibe I used to get when Ariana would do scenes with like Stassi, where it was just like, it almost felt like sometimes Ariana exhausted Stassi. It was like, why can't you just be a dick and talk shit like I do? And I'm not slamming Stassi there, but you could just sense some of a frustration. I think sometimes it gets put on Ariana that she thinks she's above everything. And I don't think it's that she thinks she's above everything. I just think that she usually has a very clean way of thinking that seems to frustrate people, and she'll stand by her guns in difficult situations. And I just don't know why we can't universally celebrate that. And you might say, well, she's getting celebrated enough. She's getting celebrated enough. Lala says one of the most hurtful things, if I was Ariana, it would be so hurtful to hear. In the after show, she's paired up with Brittany. Brittany just very happy to be on TV again. And Lala's like, dude, nobody gave a fucking shit about Ariana before this. And now all of a sudden, what she says goes. I mean, that to me is hate. It's just flat out hate. It's hard to even make a joke of it because I'm like, it's repugnant. It's just disgusting. I don't know if this is your soft side. And it's so weird because I feel like I've even tried to be so nice to Lala and I've meant it when I've said, I think she has such star quality. I think she's so talented in so many ways, but this shit is weird. It's insidious, and I don't necessarily know what it's coming from. And I'm still giving even Lala the benefit of the doubt of, oh, maybe we just don't know a big piece of information. But I know that probably isn't the case either because Lala has ran her mouth ever since the reunion that she has told us time and time again about oh, you're going to see. When are we going to see this? Am I completely blind? I think I'm gaslighting myself at this point. And it's weird. I don't want to have to sit here and rant and rave about standing up for Ariana because I do know she has a lot of support. But it's weird when some of these people that the gang, the tight-knit group of friends that we need to invest in so they can still hang out. Why the fuck would you want to hang out with these people at all at this point? This is how they get talked about. And what I love about Ariana is that I do love that you can be sometimes in the background. You can just be there doing your thing, and then life will present you with a really shitty situation. And then life will also present you with some kind of, I don't know, I don't even want to say cosmic reward because Ariana's having to work her ass off to do these things. Show up 6 days a week on Broadway, film all of these things, do all of this stuff. And having to hear Tom every episode, oh, you're fucking lazy ass, dude. You can't get her lazy ass up to wipe her butt, dude. That's how sorry this man is, that he still, when pushed very lightly, will literally result to what a lazy piece of shit. And it's really hard to rectify that kind of anger with somebody that's like, oh, I'm so sorry, dude. Oh, my Thora suit. Oh. I'm crying all over my women's couture, dude. It's just so ridiculous. And I guess the question is, why are we so captivated by it? I mean, we're in hook, line, and sinker. And another thing that we'll talk about, and we'll talk about it right now, is is that everybody say, "Oh, that this seems like a series finale. That's it. Pack it up. That's it. Oh my god." It's not good. It's not leaving. It's not. It's not. I can tell you for so many reasons, just from a business standpoint, it might look a lot different when it comes back, but this ain't over. This is a money making property. Like I said, the Lala would tell you, fuck your feelings. So yeah, fuck all of our feelings. Even if we think this would be the perfect end, let me remind you, I think it was season 8 when Jax Taylor had the monologue, and then Lisa was like, "It's my show, Jax. How dare you? We all share our lives, our ups, our downs." To me, I was like, that should be the series finale. I remember seeing that going, everybody's walking off their own way. No, we came right back, baby. We're 3 more seasons past that point. And yes, that's the job of any good finale, is to have some kind of finality. I'm okay with saying goodbye to Sandoval. We live, we learn. I do not know how this friend group, because it's not a friend group at this point, it's this coworker group. It's like the cast of The Office. I don't know how it all works, but that's not my job. Production has a really tough job. But we knew production was going to do this, where they were going to try to force scenes. They were going to try to. And man, it is so not frustrating, but I long for the day. And I think sometimes I am so silly on these shows. Like, I think certain people will, I don't know if respect is the word, nor am I looking for respect, but they'll take that like, oh, this guy is joking, but he's also kind of making some sense in certain ways, or he has very strong opinions. I would love dearly to talk to somebody in production because I just want to know. I want to know, because I don't think it's as easy as, oh, they just love Tom so much and they're trying to give him a redemption arc. No, I don't know exactly what they're thinking, but I don't think that it's like the cards are stacked against. But I do think that they had a plan. They had a plan that they were trying to figure out. And then it got away from them at some point, and they're trying to hit these plot points, these beats. And one of those beats is Scheana. Scheana, and no matter if you love Scheana, you hate Scheana, Scheana has given so much to this show. I mean, she has put it out warts and all in a very different way than a lot of the other cast members. And that's why even when Lala got this bullshit monologue at the very end, I was like, this should be given to Scheana. This monologue should be given to Scheana. And this is why I think, Lala with that last monologue is where you got Andy Cohen saying, she's like, she's the one of the group that really makes a lot of sense. I mean, she makes a lot of sense as like a producer plant, producer's pet. She's a producer's pet. My name is Lala Kent, and I'll say what you need, 'cause I'm a producer's pet. Don't worry, folks. She says she doesn't read or listen or any of this stuff, so none of this can hurt her, even though it seems like she is highly bothered that we are not seeing everything that she sees. But some of these reality shows, it really is what you can prove. Like, what you can prove. We were able to prove that Tom Sandoval had a lot of issues. He was the guy that would show up at your birthday parties and pay and do these big grand gestures. But when it came to smaller moments and moments of trust, that's where he faltered. And I don't think we ever got, and by the way, that's kind of a lifetime's journey, is trying to figure that shit out. If anything, I'm so happy they're going to take an extended break, because I just think Tom needs to actually touch grass and figure out who he is away from cameras. He's still, like Ariana made so much sense in that final scene where she's talking about, listen, I'm the final boss. He needs me. I'm like the final thing for him to be able to get forgiveness from the audience. And I'm not going to give that to him. I'm not going to give him that on camera, because it's not real to Tom unless it's on camera. And you might say, oh, the nobility, oh, taking one for the show. It's not noble. I don't think it's noble in the way that some people might. I think it's out of survival. And I think it's just a habit that he needs to break out of. and realize that his life means more than just telling hard truths on this show. And if Tom truly really believed the bullshit that he says, he would have told the hard truth on the show last season when he was actively cheating on Ariana with Rachel. Remember, he only shared that hard truth because he was caught. He had a whole different plan in his head of how all this would go down, and it did not go to plan. But that's the bullshit, is that like, it sounds good on paper of like, oh yeah, we all put our tough conversations out on the line. We put our neck out on the line. And Lala says that and Scheana says that. But like each one of those people, you can pick apart and go, Lala, you literally like ran from filming during a season. Like you just skipped town. Do you remember that? You lied for like multiple seasons about who your boyfriend was. And the rest of that cast hid the secret for you. And they did get frustrated. It's just one of those things that I think, certain things, I don't know. Like I said, it's all about what you can prove on these shows. And Lala, for all the bluster, and it ticks me off so much that I'm even talking about Lala as much as I should, because I should still be talking about Sandoval. I should still be talking about this season. But Lala inserted herself in such a way that I was like, why are you doing this? What do you get from this? Because Lala is not a dummy. She's not dumb. I think sometimes she makes a lot of sense. I just don't think she proved anything. And it got worse and worse as the season went on. And finally she was like, oh my God, I exploded. I finally let it all out. Really? I feel like you let a lot out throughout the entire season. Just like Scheana, and this is talked about in the after show, says, oh, I finally got to have that conversation with Ariana in San Francisco about being friends with Tom. And that's another confusing thing, because I've seen multiple scenes of you and Ariana talking about Sandoval throughout the season. When you were at Tahoe and you called her on FaceTime, when you were in your house and you were sitting across from her. I feel like this conversation has been continuing all of season 11. So it wasn't this, finally we had this conversation where I said I'm going to be cool with Sandoval. Like we've seen that time and time again. But those are the confusing things about this show, because 3 episodes ago, Tom Sandoval was literally yelling at Scheana in DJ James Kennedy and Ali's backyard, going like, you were the other woman, dude. Don't you remember, dude? Brandy Glanville? Eddie Fabian, dude? And that's why it's so weird. Like Brock's even like, we've got to be kind to Sandoval. He always reaches out. He'll go to your improv shows. And I'm like, dude, this guy yelled at your wife and brought up one of her darker moments of when she was in her like early to mid 20s. And, you would think this guy would be on thin ice. I don't know what devil's deal we got going here. Like sometimes I do wonder if production was like, sat this cast down away from Ariana and said, hey, we don't have a show unless Ariana and Tom interact with each other in a meaningful way. And I'm like, we do have a show without them acting in a meaningful, like we do have a show. Somebody walking away because they refuse to be used by their ex is a show to me. That is wildly fascinating to me. You don't get to see that a lot. And if we are going to break the fourth wall, fucking obliterate the fourth wall. Obliterate it. I've told you, like, since even 2 seasons ago before Scandal, I was like, I want to see a show where we like sit around with production meetings talking about possible, like, hey, do you think this could actually be a storyline? What do you think this? I would love to hear the interviews with the cast. I would love to know the behind the scenes. But each one of these cast members have hidden something or are actively hiding something from production, or production knows it and they've just deemed it not yet or not worthy to cover. But we did it, folks. We got through it. We got through the season. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here talking to you. I'm still a little stuffed up, if you can hear, from this sinus infection. So we will get through this. Buckle in. We're going to take our time with this one. We're going to slow it way down, folks. So hopefully you can sit here and laugh with me and be stupid and silly. We'll find those moments to be silly and stupid. And then we'll go deep, guys. We'll get real deep with it, potentially. We'll try. But what did you guys think? Did you find it as like, I just watched it a third time and I'm liking it more, as I'm like, okay, it's always that first time, and it's done that a lot for me this season, where it just leaves you feeling empty and confused, and like where I'm like, I need to take a Silkwood shower and just like scrub off all the dirt off of my body that I feel after watching these shows. And The first time I watched it through, I was like, "Oh God." It just felt like a lot of things of like, we got to put this in. We got to get Joseph in there. We got to get that. We got to close this up. We got to do this. We got to try to do this. And we know that this wasn't initially, I don't believe, what they wanted for the season finale. They wanted the something about her opening, which of course is going to be happening in a couple of weeks. But they were hoping, I believe, that was going to be the season finale. And it is ultimately so weird. And I don't even think that really got touched on nearly enough that this was Kyle Chan's whiskey party, one of Tom Sandoval's, best friends that he's talked about, how much Kyle has been there for him. But I was like, how did this happen all of a sudden? And also, I thought Kyle was jewelry. Now Kyle's getting into the whiskey business. He's getting into the liqueur business. I was like, what? Billy Lee was there. You saw Ty that Tom had dated a little bit. She was there. It was a collection of characters, or as DJ James Kennedy would say, a who's who. Like literally, who the fuck are these people? Guys' nights. No, I'm joking. I love everybody. Um, so should we get into are you guys good? Sorry, I just really just went off there. I've been thinking about this all day, and I did Jeff Lewis Extended on Sirius this morning, and one of the callers at the end, because we don't really, you'll talk about reality shows here and there, and I know Jeff had not watched it yet. Shane had watched it, who works on the show, and somebody called in to ask me what I had thought of the show, and I just went off. Like, I can speak fluent Vanderpump. Sometimes I'm not good with my actual life, or, just like little things like cleaning myself, but I can give you a solid 3 hours on Vanderpump Rules. I think sometimes, and like the caller, I just went off, and you could see Jeff going like, what the fuck? This guy's really going off on the deep end with this Vanderpump. But here, listen, I'm just excited that we're almost done. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let these people go take a break, grow the fuck up, or whatever they're going to do, because there's so much drama even behind the scenes, which is an actual show. Tom Sandoval and his new girlfriend, unfollowed each other on Instagram just 2 days ago, and then the next day refollowed each other. But then Billy Lee unfollowed Tom Sandoval's new girlfriend and Tom Sandoval. Billy Lee, what happened? Billy Lee looked at Tom Sandoval like a Greek god. Like there has never been a man like him in the world. So what the F happened? Now I'm like, get Billy Lee on pick up cameras now. I want to know. There's enough weird shit that goes on that you could have a Vanderpump show forever. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about this. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I just get so excited talking about all this stuff. I do want to give a shout out to all the shows this week that we had. Lindsay fucking Hubbard from Summer House on today. It was really intense, but I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys will give a shot to the other episodes through the week. We had Amir Lancaster from Summer House Martha's Vineyard on Tuesday. On Monday, we had Sammy Sage from Betches. I mean, those are really great. And I'm not feeling my best. So those guests really helped me so much, and did the heavy lifting for me while I'm not feeling good. But we're putting a lot of work in. And shout out to Maritza Lopez, the Met Gala. If you go check out our Met Gala video on YouTube, she made all these beautiful graphics because, I primarily shop at Old Navy. So, of course, I should be doing a Met Gala recap. But that's on the audio of the Lindsay Hubbard after the interview. But if you want to see the visual, go subscribe to our YouTube channel and check that out right there. Also, happy late birthday to Miss Scheana Shay. I was invited to Sheena's surprise birthday last night, Tuesday night, but I really was sick, and I knew I had to wake up for Jeff today, and I wanted to be on point. So I just didn't want to be out and then drinking too much Smirnoff. And looks like I missed a good party, but they also watched the season finale at there. And I was like, oh my God, I would have loved to have just seen that, just to see like everybody's reaction, and was like Scheana happy with it. I'm so curious. I'm thinking about texting her going, how you doing? Like I would never do that to Lala, but Scheana, I'm like, how you doing? How did it end? Are you okay? But I was bummed to have missed that, but I just really was trying to make sure I feel okay, because I'm going out of town again next week, and that's really important. But also, I get so nervous at those things anyways. And there was a bunch of like cast members from the Valley and Kyle Cook from Summer House. So it would have been cool, but I mean, it's fine. And then also Zach Peters from No Filter with Zach. He invited me he had a viewing party at Schwartz and Sandy's, and I would have done that too. And he had assured me that Sandoval wouldn't be there. So I missed a couple of good parties, but I'm sure you guys probably saw that online. So I'm best in my hole just sitting here in front of a microphone where I'm the most comfortable. Okay, let's do this. 26 minutes in. And as always, thank you to Juliana Carosa, who took transcribed the notes for this. She has been a rock for me for so long and always just kills it. But I was reading a note she sent to me at the very end about how empty and sad she feels as well. And I don't know, maybe that just means we obviously, all of us, we need to touch grass as well. And I'm trying to touch grass more. But man, you get into this is what it must feel like to like a sports team or something. You get into it. And that's the exciting part. And I do question sometimes is that maybe they want us to be this angry. Maybe they want that because sometimes if you hate something, that means you love it really passionately. I have haters. They seem to be sometimes my biggest fans and will pay attention to every little thing that I do. And you're like, that is wild. And people have told me to enjoy that. And I just never have been able to find a way to do that. But sometimes you almost feel like that's what they're after with these shows. They're after that. And that is part of it, right? Is just basic story structure is drama, is bringing that drama. It's just that we had drama. We didn't need the drama of people turning against Ariana. You will inevitably make her more powerful. I don't know why, but I keep making Star Wars references lately. And what's that thing, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you strike me down, you're just going to make me more powerful and more powerful. The more shit that gets talked towards Ariana, the more it's just like you just make her stronger in some way. She's not even trying to do it. She's not even going, look at me, look at me. But the amount of these people that are talking behind her back and talking shit, it is just making her stronger. Like I've never, like Lala's final word of like, I've never seen this happen. And then somebody becomes God. It's the fact that you keep saying things like this. You are turning her into a God. You are turning her into this person because you cannot keep her name out of your mouth. And I have not felt personally gypped or cheated by Ariana not having a conversation with Tom Sandoval because I've seen those conversations with Tom Sandoval before. I've seen it with Kristen Doute. I've seen those tears. I know I could write you fan fiction right now on how it would go. And if we saw that, Ariana would just be like, it would be laughable. She would laugh at it, which, yeah, that would be enjoyable. But, she has said from the beginning, protecting her own peace. And I think as somebody that is trying to learn how to do that myself and has, up to this point, really I've never done a good job at that. I think maybe that's sometimes where the jealousy comes in because these people are not able to do that for themselves. So it's really hard to see it actually being done by somebody else. And somebody that they didn't really think that could do that. It's like sad because that's what I say. It would have really hurt my feelings because at the end of the day, Ariana does have to accept that these people don't seem like they think a lot of her. They don't seem to think that she's capable of what she's actually pulled off. And I just sometimes go, where's just the basic respect? Also, did Tom Sandoval stay and face Miami Girl when he was confronted with her that one season? No, dude, he fucking ran. Did Lala pop out and go, dude, what is going on, little Lala? What up, bitch? Get the fuck in there, bitch. These are our paychecks. This is our livelihood, bitch. Everybody has run from shit on this show. And that's really entertaining to watch somebody run from their past. Okay. And that's all I got to say about that. Vanderpump Rules, Season 11, Episode 15. This one's called Plot Twist. Was it really a plot twist? This is the description the cable company gives us. Scheana performs live for the first time with her band, the 27s. Katie clashes with Joseph over a year's worth of grievances. I like that. What a nice little descriptor. A year's worth of grievances. Ariana takes Dan to lunch with her friends. The fourth wall is left shattered when Tom approaches Ariana for a conversation. I feel like we've kind of shattered that fourth wall even last the finale. Because remember, the season finale last year was the Sandoval episode, a brilliant episode, and that really did shatter the fourth wall in a lot of ways. But this, I guess, even takes it a step further because Jeremiah is involved when Ariana walks off. But Jeremiah, producer Jeremiah, he's, we've seen him a lot even at the reunion last season. I'm all good with that. In fact, Teen Mom on MTV always does this brilliantly, where at a certain point, they got the producers on camera and they became a part of the show. And that's the other thing, too, is that these people, that's why they would be so worthwhile to interview if they were able to actually talk, is that Jeremiah's been with this show from day one. Day one. These people have grown up with this cast as well as the cast has grown up with each other. Like they know their ins and outs. And I don't know, sometimes you are going to have your take on a situation, but I imagine they feel that a lot of this cast is family to them as well. And they've wanted to believe the best in these people, even when they've seen them at their worst. In fact, Jeremiah, they had this making of the first season, and I don't know where, I don't even know where you can get that, but Jeremiah's interviewed in this, I always bring this up because I found it fascinating, was that they bought hook, line, and sinker Jax, that Jax did not cheat on Stassi. And so when Jax showed up at the season finale and walked in and was like, I did do that in Vegas, they were all shocked because Jax had been lying through his teeth to production, to everybody, and they believed him. Just because your production doesn't mean you know exactly everything. You don't know the truth of everything. Now, they trolled Ariana in this, but they also trolled Tom. They used his hot mic moment at the very end. So okay, I gotta go. Previously on Vanderpump Rules, we had the Lisa do it. Previously on Vanderpump Rules, I can't be at the finale because I'm trying to build Wolf with Nick Lane. Oh, can you believe I can't be in the season finale? Kyle Chan's whiskey. I can't believe that. The kin erasure will not stand. When season 12 happens, and it will happen, it better be a fucking Kin Todd centric season. This man better be in every fucking episode. I want him in the center of the action. Shut up, Lisa. It's my time to shine. Please, can I talk to something? Sandoval, I'm going to knock your fuck clean out. Stop being a pussy. You're not sorry for anything. Whoa, get in your cold plunge and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we see the wine therapy boat excursion on the San Francisco Bay from last week's episode, and DJ James Kennedy, San Francisco, baby, guys' night. Kyle Chan announces, we're going to have a launch party, and I'm asking Scheana if she can perform. And Sheena's like, how can I say no? I am one of those people that I hope, I've said this, that I want at my funeral them to play the Vanderpump Rules theme. I also want them to play Good as Gold. I also, listen, if I feel like I'll probably pass away sooner rather than later, I want Scheana to sing at my funeral. Do a slow down Good as Gold, I'll open Pandora's box for you. I'll take, and maybe now that I'm doing maybe a choir behind her, and Sandoval will do the mic check. He'll bring it oh, dude, I know he was kind of tough on me those couple of seasons, but I brought my sound guy down here to the church, and we're gonna do it up, dude. And then I'll be like, can I play my songs? And even me from the dead, I'll be like, no, just Scheana. We have Joseph from earlier in the season when Joseph and Schwartz were on that swan in the lake. And she's like, bee-boo, bop, everyone's going to have to get along. I killed my turtle when I was a kid. And Schwartz is like, bless your heart. Joe in a talking head saying, the other girls didn't give me a fair chance. Specifically, Katie, pull my finger. She's being a jealous ex. This show is just wall-to-wall gaslighting. She's being a jealous ex. Joe, it's just always funny. There's reasons why things happen. There's a reason why Katie doesn't like you. It's a pretty understandable reason. The fact that we keep hitting the same note, expecting something else to come out of the piano is wild. Joe, take the loss. You did do something weird behind her back. No matter how you rationalize it in your head, you wanted to do the hippity dippity with Schwartz. That's okay. So many girls and guys want to do the hippity dippity with Schwartz. You got in there, but don't act like you got in there completely fair game, because that's just not the case. Accept it. James is talking about Hippie. Remember, he got Hippie back, and he's like, I definitely feel like a baby's in our future, not just Hippie. And Allie's like, I've literally never felt that. James, very emotional in a talking head, is like, this girl that I'm very in love with, she's like, never had plans to have kids. It breaks my fucking heart. But then we have the scene with Ariana to Dan, her boyfriend, who was able to keep 7 feet of hair in a nice tight bow that I'm like trying to I'm like, is this guy an architect? How does he do this with his hair? I spent one of my viewings today, once again, just I was like standing up, looking at the hair from different angles, going, how the fuck does this guy put the hair like that? And how much does it weigh? So Dan is coming to San Francisco. Then Lala talking to Dan. Remember when Lala barged into Ariana's room and watched Dan change, and little Lala was like, fuck yeah, dude! Woohoo! It's a flood! Titanic! Lala's like, if Ariana's ex were to come up to me and be like, hey, dude, what would you do? And Dan is like, well, Tom hasn't done anything to me, but I know what he's done. I know what he's done. That's pretty but I'm a man. I ain't gonna run. Hey, I don't need no chunky sweater to take off in a Vegas strip mall. I don't need a chunky sweater. I'm muscles. Ariana in a scene with Brock trying to explain how feelings and emotions work. Ariana's like, listen, I'm not going to have mutual friends with Tom. It's not going to fucking happen. And Brock's like, yeah, I guess. Okay. I don't know why. When did women get the right to vote? Come on. Sandoval in another scene's like, it feels good to be able to talk like this to Scheana at the very end of last week's episode. And Sheena's like, yeah. And then they hug and Sam's like, I love you, dude. And Sheena's like, I love you too. At a certain point, do you think it even entered Sandoval's skewed mind of like, did I fucking hit on Scheana, dude? Do you think the show needs me to hit on Scheana to survive? I wonder if I could kiss Scheana. Do I have it in me? Like, you almost think that he almost got there in his mind. There were a couple moments even tonight where I was like, are you guys dating? Like, I'm so confused about the emotion. Like, I know you guys have been friends. I know we stood up for you at the very beginning, and you guys really have done something really unimaginable in terms of how successful this show has been throughout the years. But at the same time, I'm like, did the show just not show us how close these two people were? It feels like they were like blood brothers at a certain point. Are they related? I get confused. We open up with the song as we usually do, and a song plays of like, I probably flew through the rainbow. I didn't realize I never loved another lover like I love you. And we start our morning off at the Argonaut Hotel where everyone is staying. Dan is already dressed, giving Ariana a wake-up hug. I literally wrote this note. How does this man do his hair? And Dan's like, let me get you coffee. And Ariana's like, thank you. This Dan, acts of service. We cut over to DJ James Kennedy's room, and him and Allie are in bed waking up. And he's like, how do you think it is with Sandoval? It's kind of awkward, huh, for Dan? And Allie's like, I wonder if Dan's going to come around today. My God, yes, Allie Dally. And Allie's like, have they even met? And James smiles. No, tonight will be the big meeting. Top man. We go over to Katie's room, and Lala's in there. And, just laying on the bed, just really active, really pushing the storyline further, just laying there in a bathrobe. But no, it's everybody. No, it's Lala's show, so she can just chill. Lala goes, the way Ariana would talk about him, like every time I would ask her, like, is Dan going to be okay on this trip? Like, what if there's an interaction with Sandoval? And she was like, Dan has been in fights before. Like, he does not fuck around. And if Sandoval were to walk up to him and be like, hey, how are you? There's no way Dan would shake his hand. And I'm like, this guy sounds like a fucking square. And Lala makes a nasty face. Oh, yeah, man, we all can't be as cool as Randall Emmett. Yeah, Randall Ives Emmett, baby. That's a man. Woo! How does that sound like a square? Like, I really am trying to look at it from all these sides, but she says this saying of like, oh, yeah, Ariana said Dan doesn't fuck around. I'm like, how does that sound like a square, any of this? It literally sounds, I was like, okay, wow, it sounds better than most of the guys on Vanderpump Rules. And listen, I don't know Dan. I don't even know if we're going to get to know Dan. I don't even think we should get to know Dan. It seems like a real relationship, and it doesn't look like he's looking for that. I can point to other, other boyfriends and girlfriends on the show that do seem like they really want to be there, but Dan doesn't seem to be one of them. But that's another thing. He's a fucking square, right? But this is what I'm saying. Lala is fucking obsessed. Lala is obsessed. The season started with Lala breaking rank and texting Rachel. She was wrong about that, and she's wrong about this. Wrong from the beginning, wrong at the ending. And Katie tells Lala, goes, no, I think he's like the sweetest person. And Lala just glares at Katie like, fuck you. You fucking dare you. I'm Team Joseph. Now we cut over to Sandoval in bed and he's on FaceTime with Schwartz. And I swear to God, this dude has mood lighting and he brought mood lighting for his hotel room. It looks like Prince farted in there. It's like purple everywhere. And then it started changing colors and I realized he has a galaxy light, I think, in there, which is like, yeah, dude, I'll get back at Rachel, dude. I'm going to bring the galaxy light that we used to bone to, dude. Yeah, how you like me now? Anyway, Schwartz is wearing a white paper face mask in the bathtub. And he's like, what's up, dog? Dude, this tub has jets. I've spent the last hour trying to put my dick in one. Look at this. And he turns the phone to show how he pushes the jet button. And Santa's like, yeah, dude, I thought your hand with your toes for a second. I thought your hand with your toes for a second because you kind of got long toes. And Schwartz is like, oh my God, I thought you said, let me see your toes again for a second. And then Santa was like, let me see them toes for a second. And Schwartz is like, not cool, dude. Listen, I know that they might move in together. They might not, but I feel like we legally need to force them to move in together because the world would miss out on conversations like this of like, dude, Schwartz, come check this out. I just shit in the bathtub, dude. Come smell this thing. It's insane. Dude, have you seen my laxative pills? We cut over to Brock and Scheana's room, and Brock's like, you need any help with anything else tonight, Scheana? And Scheana's like, no, I don't think so. And I'm sure Tom will be in touch with the guys for what time they need to be there to set up their stuff. And Brock's like, so Tom is helping you set up everything. I do want to point out Tom's best friend is Kyle Chan. That is why Tom is helping with this stuff. It's positioned as Tom is helping Scheana, but Tom is helping this whole production. This is Kyle Chan production. He is just using it as this kind of angle where it seems like he is expressly helping Scheana. And she goes, yeah, like all the sound for all the performances, and they're like building a stage, and it's like a big, big deal. It is a big deal, my love. How do you feel after last night's conversation now that you got to sleep on it? And we have a flashback to Sandoval and Scheana on the terrace, hugging. Sandoval going, thanks for being there for me, dude. Scheana tells Brock, and she's getting teary. She says, like, we have a good, productive conversations. And then it's like, are you being genuine or are you playing me? Because Ariana is going to feel differently about him and not think anything's good or genuine because of what he did. All I'm saying during this, I'm like, yeah, Scheana gets it, man. Like Scheana knows, yes. But Scheana is inwardly tortured, and you almost feel bad for her at times because you get the sense this is very real. She just sits there and plays these scenarios and situations out in her head. But at the same time, if Tom says like all of these nice things to her, she really takes that as at face value. But then she's like, oh my God, Ariana is one of my best friends. Like you see this one person getting tortured, but most of the torture, they are doing it to themselves because, and this is easier said than done, is that she could free herself from this complete line of thinking. Because at the end of the day, it's not that deep, but you don't want to take away from her actual feelings that she's truly feeling. Like, I don't think this is bullshit. I think she truly does torture herself. She goes, I have a hard time trusting anyone anymore. I have a hard time believing what's real. I mean, this is a real Nightmare on Elm Street scenario. Like Scheana is truly been tortured about this. And the easy joke, of course, is, oh, Sheena's making it all about her all again. But she does make it all about her, but she makes it all about her in this way that almost tortures herself. She's not making it all about her and she's having the time of her life. She legitimately terrorizes herself with sometimes feeling this way. And you see that it just eats at her. So anyways, Brock's like, out of those two, Ariana and Tom, I'm sorry. I love Ariana, but she doesn't reach out. Tom reaches out. I'm just like, yeah, man, Tom will show up in ways that Ariana probably is not mentally able to do. And I think that's another reason why sometimes Ariana resonates with people is that I was really trying to think about this because I think one of the things that impressed me about Tom Sandoval initially and why I was truly I was weirdly looked up to that guy and really had a very soft spot for him, is because he was that guy that seemed like he really was that unifier. There's those people where it's like, oh, he wants everybody to have a good time, and he's doing, and he follows the beat of his own drum and all of this stuff. And I just really thought that was amazing because that's not who I am at all. And I really looked up to that, that person that is okay talking with anybody. Like I'm okay talking with you guys, but I get really shy in other situations, or I'll force myself and inwardly I'm dying. I feel very panicky and like I'm less than all the time and I'm very insecure. And, he always came off as the opposite of that. And I was like, wow, what a cool guy. But of course, Tom has that. That's a gift. But it doesn't mean Ariana's less than. It also doesn't mean if you are like that, of the person that can't be the unifier, the person that doesn't reach out all the time, it doesn't mean you're this horrible person. It just means you don't have those skills. We all have something different about us to be celebrated. And, we can't be everything to everybody. Brock in a talking head's like, Tom has been the most generous, greatest, caring friend that we've had of our whole friend group. It reminds me of growing up on a pig farm when I was Mormon. He does things and acts when Scheana needs them the most without even telling anybody else he does them. So that is kind of something I've always admired about him. Scheana goes, well, Brock, I don't agree with you. I don't. Ariana is a very good friend to me. I talk to Ariana most than a lot of people in my life. And Brock's like, well, so I'm talking about like action-wise. She'll bail out of things often. And I was like, hell yeah, so do I. Queen. Like, listen, sometimes, and Brock especially should know this because it seems like Scheana deals with mental health issues, is that when you do have mental health issues, it just really does impede sometimes your social calendar. It impedes, even sometimes you getting out of bed. I mean, that's what another thing that I don't know, I'm saying the same shit. Anyways, Sheena's like, I understand that, Brock. In this group, we know that Ariana is going to be the person who probably isn't going to show up, but always wants to be invited. But I will never turn my back on Ariana because she has always been there for me. Yes to all that. And Brock's like, okay, well, then you got a dog in this fight. What do you mean? No, there doesn't even have to be a dog in this fight. There's no dog. There's no fight. It's over. You're not getting these people back together. Deal with it. Anyways, it's a beautiful afternoon in San Francisco. Everyone is together riding on the trolley, and DJ James Kennedy, like a little kid, he's like, how high are we going? Are we going to the top of the street? And Brock's like, all the way up. And Schwartz is like, oh my God, there's Alcatraz. Oh. And DJ James Kennedy's like, hello, San Francisco, Coachella. And Brock's like, oh, I feel like I'm from the scene from Mrs. Doubtfire, like when they get on the trolley. And I was like, Mrs. Doubtfire? Holy, Brock pays attention. Mrs. Doubtfire. Anyways, there's a joke there that I'm not going to say. Dan is on there with Ariana, and Dan is like, at one point, I was walking like this, and he holds his arm practically sideways. I was walking like a 45-degree angle because the streets are so crazy. And Ariana's like, yeah, you got to lean forward. And Brock's like, we're going to go downhill. And Ariana's like, we're going downhill. DJ James Kennedy's like running up and down on a trolley like a hyperactive 5-year-old. He's taking a selfie video for his Insta fans. Lala, very concerned, says to Ariana, were you always going to come on the trolley even if the other person was here? Talking about Sandoval. And Ariana's like, I don't know. And George is like, I think he's with Kyle Chan setting up for tonight. And Lala's like, really? Lala, what are you, like a roving reporter? What are you, for the Washington Post? Like, Ariana, were you always going to come even if Sandoval came? Like, what the fuck? Like, why? Let shit happen, dude. Unless you're getting fed questions from production to ask. But then, like, tell us that too. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you don't. Lala is suffering from treating the audience like they're fucking idiots. And even how Lala talks about us because we don't get along with her in how she moves. She always likes to say, how you move. How Lala moves is so fucking weird. And it's just, it's weird how she moves. And it just doesn't add up in certain ways. Anyways, they flash a shot of Sandoval hustling and working over at Kyle Chan's event. They do this a couple times, and it's just shots of like Tom like plugging in chords randomly, which I don't even think he's like, oh, dude, let me Let me act like I'm plugging in a cord, dude. If you hired a sound guy, you wouldn't be plugging in any cords. And the way Tom is like jamming these cords in, that I feel like this is just like a weird pickup shot. Anyways, the gang, the friend gang, is walking around Chinatown, open stalls, shopping kiosks, and Lala is window shopping, and she's like, "Oh my god, deep fried wontons! My mouth is watering." And little Lala's like, "Mine too, bitch." And Lala, I was like, "Yeah, put some wontons in your mouth so you stop talking, please." They get to this restaurant, House of Nanking, and they are greeted and seated, and they, this place is just going to give them a serving of a bunch of different stuff, some Chinese beer. They get some Diet Coke. And Brock's like, "What did everybody get up to last night once we finished playing dress up?" And Lala's like, "I cuddled with Katie in bed." And they flash back to the previous night. And Lala's like, "Can we watch TV and close our eyes?" And Katie's on her phone. And she's like, "I would love that." I'm like, by the way, this is Schwartz's wet dream right now. This is what Schwartz wanted to do when he approached Katie. He was like, "Hey, what if we got $150 minimum of candy? We didn't talk at all. And we just scrolled. And I busted a nut because it's so weirdly erotic." Like, this is Schwartz. Schwartz probably watched this scene and was like, "Ah, ah, ah, it's my dream. Ah." Anyways, Lala's like, "Okay, that sounds awesome." And they turn on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or so it seems, because you hear Lisa Vanderpump going, "The crown is heavy, darling," from Beverly Hills. Brock says to Schwartz, "Hey, they got their cuddle moment. Sorry, buddy. I mean," and Schwartz is like, "Yeah, God, get a shot, dude." And Lala's like, "I told Schwartzy we would have tag teamed him, but I don't think he can handle all this." And Scheana's like, "Have you ever had a threesome?" And Schwartz pauses to think. Like, what do you have to fucking think about? He's like, "One, two, was there a third?" He goes, "Not yet." I think Schwartz is lying out of his ass. I think this dude has definitely had a threesome. I think even probably Joseph was involved at one point. I do not buy this dude has not had a threesome, but it would be the cutest threesome ever. He'd be like, "Am I doing this right? I don't know. I've got to go put Butters and Gordo away. They get weird seeing my pubes." Oh. Schwartz in a talking head goes, "Every story from all of my friends from all walks of life, are like threesomes are never as good as you might think they are. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's a bucket list thing, right?" They talked about threesomes weirdly a couple times in the scene, so much so that I was like, are they giving Schwartz a threesome scene? Like, are we about to get to Kyle Chan's whiskey party and something weird happens in like the mop closet? Oh, it's crazy. There's no room in here. Oh. Anyways, Sheena's like, "Schwartz, this is like the worst poured beer ever." Anyways, it's a pouring beer, and Dan like kind of jokes with Schwartz, so they're kind of getting along. And Lala then, the roving reporter goes, "Dan, so do you do like bartending at night and then you train during the day?" And Dan's like, "Well, I train 7 days a week and I bartend Friday and I do double shifts on Saturday." Lala really not understanding how labor actually works. And Lala's like, "How many clients do you have right now?" And he's like, "I don't know, a bunch." "Well, would you like the training to become like the main focus where you don't have to like, or do you enjoy bartending?" And Lala then keeps going, "How old are you, Dan?" And he's like, 40. By the way, I thought this dude was younger than 40. I was like, I've got to start working out because I thought this guy was way younger than 40. So he's 40, and Lala's like, 40? Have you ever been married? And he goes, "No." "What was your last relationship?" "Probably 5 or 6 years ago." "How come that how come that one ended?" "Shut the fuck up." But Lala, you should be thrilled. This is somebody sharing their life, showing up to filming, right? So Ariana's doing a scene with Dan. Isn't that good for the show? Isn't that for the good of the show? I don't remember these scenes with Randall once you split up. I don't remember anything with Randall because he was off the show. This is the stuff that I hate, is that this is what makes me mad, is that you don't even look at what the person does do. Like, I didn't think we would see Dan at all this season. And here he is. Dan, you can tell, is like taking it all in good stride. And he doesn't seem like a performer. He's not performative. He's just kind of answering point blank. And Lala goes, "After the wedding, when was the next time you guys got to see each other?" And Schwartz is like, "Are you about to hit him with a 'where do you see yourself in 5 years?' Don't do that." And Lala goes, "I always love to ask people." And Schwartz is like, "Don't do that." And Lala goes, "I need to know." And Schwartz looks at her and goes, "Don't do that." Lala on a talking head goes, "Dan is handling this interrogation like a champ. He's not breaking a sweat." And Schwartz goes, "Let's get to the hard hitting questions. Have you ever had a threesome?" It's not even a joke. He literally says the threesome thing again. This like Schwartz is legitimately thinking about threesomes. Ariana and Dan laugh. Lala continues in a talking head, but I will be damned if another person comes into this group dating someone and they end up being an asshole. I shall be the only asshole in this group from here on out. Like, who the fuck? You aren't the fucking like king of this castle. You are not collecting dues for this group. Do not worry. And by the way, you're gonna be damned if somebody comes in here that's an asshole. That to me is going to ruin the show. There's going to be plenty more assholes that we've not even met on Vanderpump Rules. New assholes. You'll probably date one of those assholes. Like, give me a break. Don't act like this is out of the kindness of your heart. You're protecting Ariana. You're literally trying to find holes to poke in this dude. Lala goes, we're all asking the questions now. What are your intentions? Why are you here? And Lala goes, do you want kids, Dan? And he goes, well, I think I do. And Lala's like, well, whenever someone says, I think I do, I'm like, you should definitely hold on to them. That's not for everybody, Lala. That's just you love motherhood. That's not everybody's journey. Dan politely smiles and Lala's like, you're like big commitment. And this is a scene, they had an extended version on Peacock. So this is a scene from that. And Brock's like, Allie's got a question, Dan. And Allie's like, what were you first attracted to about Ariana? And Dan's like, well, we were about to go deep. I guess we're about to go deep. Well, there was a big group talking and, they have some issues with race and all that stuff. And she's just so empathetic to that. And so I dealt with a lot of that growing up in Europe. And those are the fights that you would get into because someone would say a racial slur to me. And I don't take that lightly. And she empathized with that and could speak to that. And she doesn't need to do that. And like seeing her do that was actually what attracted me to her. And Allie's like, that's sweet. Like Allie just like going like, what's your moon sign? Ariana in a talking head goes, I love that. In the scene, Dan goes, well, she did look good in that dress too. And Lala goes, Ariana's ass do fit nice in a dress too. Thank you, Lala. Allie goes, okay, so reverse question. What did you, Ariana, see in Dan? And Dan's like, actually, I've never asked you that. Isn't it weird sometimes when you watch these shows and a couple will be like, I never asked her that. And I'm always like, that's one of those questions I think is so on the nose that you talk about within the first year of like what attracted you to somebody else. And it always, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but it always shocks me when you hear on the show, you're like, well, we never talked about that. I'm like, really? Ariana says he has the nicest smile ever. And we were in a group gathering and I said to my friends, that Dan guy is pretty hot. And Lindsay, who I think it was her wedding, Lindsay's husband is like, well, do you think you guys might chat at the wedding? And I was like, oh, no, that's too soon. But then all the girls were chatting about deep stuff and Dan would contribute to the conversation. Like he was really listening, not busting in and overpowering, but really nice. And I really liked that. And Brock's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just listening and not overpowering. What are you talking about? Real men overpower the conversations. Come on. Ariana in a talking head goes, Dan has a great perspective on life. And I was really drawn to his personality. Like he knew me before knowing me. And she tells him that he's a really good listener. In a talking head, she says, all of those little moments, it just says that he's thinking of me and wanting to be with me. And it made me smile. DJ James Kennedy speaks up. Well, have you chatted with Sandoval yet? Ariana frowns. Dan shakes his head no. And he's like, what do you think of him? Do you think he's got a big wiener? James smiles, kind of goading the situation. Dan's like, look, I don't know him. Right, but I know what he's done. Yeah, so, right, of course, yes, guys' night. And Dan is like, I'm not hearing great things. Scheana's just watching and listening. Brock isn't looking up from the table. Also, I do want to point out, why is Brock wearing green pleather, like a green pleather button-up shirt? It looks like the thickness of a leather jacket, but it's like a green pleather. But I'm just like, this poor guy. I always think about just the amount of heat emanating off people's bodies on reality television because I'm just deeply disturbed. And this is just so, I was like, that's going to be hot as balls. Scheana's like, last night I put a new thing in perspective for Tom. I said, have you ever thought about weaponizing Ariana's mental health on top of what you already did? And it was like in the moment. And Brock's like, for Ariana and for all you guys. She did it for all ya. For all ya. Scheana stuck up for all ya and talked about it. And Scheana's like, and it felt like I saw the mask fall a little bit and he really thought about it. And he was like, I really need to think about that. Like, oh my God, how the fuck did I not see that? And Katie's like, how many times are we going to keep believing this man's genuine tears? And Brock's like, he has a fucking friendship with her. That's, you guys keep dismissing. He has a friendship with Scheana. And Katie's like, I don't believe a damn word, a damn tear, a damn nothing that comes out of him. Katie really coming in with great timing there. I do want to also talk about like Tom is probably a genuine person, but there is a performative nature to Tom that we've all seen on this show throughout the years. And part of like, I always joke about like Elton John playing Rocket Man. It's like when Sandoval cries, that's one of his greatest hits. You know, the genuine tears that I'm really feeling. And we know now through all of the interviews he's done this past year how aware he is of the camera. So if you put two and two together, it does read performative. You know, I would actually really almost try to clock and count the moments that you have with Tom away from the camera. But even then, it's you know that New York Times interview. It really does seem like he just always pictures the camera on him. I don't know. It's really fascinating. I really wonder what a therapist would, how they would dissect this and what he said and what he said in that interview. Anyways, Katie and I talking. Goes, everyone's trying to make this whole Sandoval situation way more nuanced than it actually is. When a guy fucks over your friend, fuck the guy. And yeah, absolutely, right? Right? Totally. But I will say, and I want to try to be fair to everybody, and this isn't a knock against Katie, but I will say Katie did sleep with Max Boyens, and Max Boyens did kind of, according to Dana Cathan, kind of fuck her over in a way. So it just goes to show we're all human. We all make mistakes. I think what she's, you know, what the brilliant part of this sentence is here is that everybody is trying to make this way more nuanced. It's like everybody's trying to make this, you know, even Sandoval tried to make the relationship with Rachel way more nuanced. Oh, it was a love set from the beginning of time. It was Romeo and Juliet with a galaxy light. No, you were fucking horny, dude. You were horny. Like, it's like D. James Kennedy. It was a fuck fest. That's what I think it was. A fuck fest. Anyway, Schwartz is like, Tom's not a trash person. He's a good person who did a trash thing. And Ariana goes, a trash? I was even like, oh, Schwartz, what the fuck? Ariana's like, a trash thing. And Schwartz is like, a very trash thing? And Ariana goes, you got to watch what table you're at if you're going to talk like that. And Schwartz looks down and Schwartz in his head like, fucking Ariana, fuck this, dude. Ariana goes, if you want to talk like that and say he did a trash thing, a horrible thing then. A thing? A singular one thing, Tom? And Schwartz is like, a lot of things? I don't know. Anyways, I'm just saying, threesomes. Ariana just stops and stares at him. Schwartz really truly is the king of just stepping in it, and then he'll immediately back off. I don't know, dude. I'm an idiot. Lala on a talking head goes, Ariana tries to put on this cool girl vibe, but she cares a lot. She says this like it's a knock on Ariana. And once again, I'm like, yeah, Lala, that's a good thing, right? Right? I wonder if we could also point to another example of a girl that tries to put on a cool girl act. Huh. Is there anybody else besides Ariana that tries to put on a cool girl strong act? I don't know. Let me know if you guys think of somebody. Maybe it sounds familiar. Ariana goes, well, watch how you talk like that in front of me. And Brock is looking at Ariana like, women. Lala continues in a talking head. Once she gets out of this, Sandoval is the monster and Ariana is the victim. She'll have to go through a mourning process. And I just don't think she wants to deal with that. I mean, there's an element potentially of truth, right? But I don't think Ariana is carrying herself as a victim. Ariana is literally just saying, like she did from the beginning, this guy doesn't get access to me in a personal way. That's it. That's it. I feel like I'm just going, it's like bashing your head against the wall again and again, expecting a different result. Like this to me is just proves even what Katie said even more of we're trying to make this a lot deeper than it is. But Lala is painting Ariana to be this victim. Ariana is not painting herself to be the victim, unless the show is just not showing us this. Katie to Brock goes, you haven't been there for like my entire lived experience, Brock. Actually lived experience. So no, I haven't been here for none of your guys' lived experience in this group. I grew up on a pig farm. And Katie's like, I know, so stop. And Brock's like, no, I want to fight for my wife and she feels some type of way. Ariana jumps in and goes, she feels the same way, Brock. She's also fighting for your wife. And Brock's like, okay, all right, I'm sorry. Okay. Once again, Tom is the same guy that fucking yelled at your wife 2 episodes ago. It's just so weird. I can't tell if it's a boys club or if it's something more. Or Brock, in interviews past, it says like, I was trying to start stuff, I was trying to bring the group together. Like, I don't know. And you also have to then think, from pulling out a little bit and think about these people trying to keep a job, and Brock wasn't a cast member last year. And Brock was a minor cast member the year before. And finally, he has this kind of opportunity. So part of this, you would almost speculate that he's really trying to earn his spot. He's really trying to make it work. So, and I know that might be an excuse, and I'm not excusing what he's saying, but there is this element of Brock's really trying to be a part of this cast. So Ariana goes, because she is defending her against the behavior that has been exhibited towards her by him. And she looks at Schwartz, who's hiding his face. The trash person, she says. Lala, pursing her lips hard, is like, it's okay. You're defending your wife. You're sensitive to her emotions. And Katie's like, I know, but defend it. Defend it to the people who are actually doing the things, not to me. I'm not the fucking one. I will say, like, guys do not like when girls stand up for themselves in this way. Like I always say, people have a lot of issues sometimes with Katie or even with Ariana. And it's like, you just don't like the package of somebody saying how they feel and kind of being right a lot of the times. Anyways, Brock takes a deep breath. Schwartz rubs his head. Dan pulls Ariana towards him and gives her a quick kiss. Dan's hair still looking glorious. Okay, so we're back at the Argonaut Hotel where they're all staying. And this was a scene in the extended version on Peacock. We've got Joseph. Joseph is there. She has made it to San Francisco and she is eating food in her room. She was like, this is all I want. I'm so hungry and thirsty. Tom knocks on the door and he's like, Joseph. And, she's like, T-Money, what up? And then they just start squealing. They're like, ee, ooh, ee. And she tells Schwartz is like, she tells Schwartz, he's like, Schwartz, you gotta stop wearing colors that match your skin tone and your hairstyle. The hair that I completely burnt off your head. Because he's wearing like white that blends in with his skin and his hair. He lets out another screech. Like Schwartz is like, Joseph. And he's like, oh, Joe, we went to this iconic spot in Chinatown. Oh my God, Joe, you've got a view of the wharf here. And Joe's like, yeah, wee. And then he's like, I got stuffed animals for Gordo and one for Butters. And then Joe is like, Schwartz, can you iron my clothes for me? I don't know how to iron. And then Schwartz is like, Joseph, are you wearing makeup? And Joe's like, fuck you. I like that this is like an Ali Sheedy Breakfast Club moment, except that Schwartz does not care for it at all. He's like, Joe wearing makeup, it's like me wearing suits. It just doesn't work. It looks like a little girl that busted into her mom's makeup. It doesn't work for her. I was like, Schwartz should iron the fuck out of her dress and like burn holes into it like she did with his hair. And then he's like, Joseph, let's have fun tonight, dude. Let's have fun. At this point, it does feel a little like Schwartz is trying to minimize trouble, like minimize, I think he realizes, well, I don't think he realizes, he put her in a really bad position. In fact, the brilliant Kate Arthur, who I love so much. She writes for Variety. She tweeted this and it makes so much sense to me. What Tom Schwartz did to that poor lost fool Joe, intentionally setting her up to look like the craziest freak at every turn, is the most diabolical thing I've seen on television in years. Logan Roy is shaking. I agree with that so wholeheartedly, is that Schwartz really did hang her out to dry. Whether Joe is weird, Joe is all of that stuff. And yeah, I have not loved that she loves to do these Instagram lives and talk about sex with Schwartz, but everybody on this show is looking to sell merch, looking to have their moment, their 15 minutes. So you can't fault her for that. I don't really necessarily agree with a lot of her, be nice, everybody. It's like, you're not even that nice. Like, let people feel how they want to feel. But Schwartz, at the end of the day, and Schwartz is a smart guy, he really hung her out to dry in multiple scenes this season. And even in the scene in the episode when they get to Kyle Chan's thing about throwing her in the lion's den with Katie. Like, how did you think that was going to go? Like, I don't know, but at certain points, I feel like he's almost being overly enthusiastic of like, oh, we're great, aren't we? No, we're good. Don't freak out. No, I'm going to date a lot of other people, but don't freak out. Like, it's okay. No, no, we're good, right? Let's have fun tonight. I feel like he kind of coasts by a lot on that. I think Schwartz is way smarter than anybody on this show gives him credit for because he says so many doofy things. But I don't necessarily think he's diabolical. He's somebody that seems to understand human emotions in a way that Tom Sandoval doesn't, but it is still it's still weird. It's very, very weird with the Joe thing. And I think Joe is there because she wants to be on the show, but I think Joe thinks she really truly is in love with Tom Schwartz. Anyways, then Brock and Scheana, we go to their room, and Brock has put out a room of seduction. There is rose petals leading to the bed with a red rose petal heart on the bed. And guess what's in the middle? That's right, folks. We got chocolate covered strawberries. We got apples. We got champagne because of Sheena's hit song with the 27s, Apples. We've had flashback to earlier when Brock whispered to the hotel agent. He's like, my wife's performing tomorrow night at Treasure Island. Is there a way we can set something up for the room? And Brock's like, in the scene, he's like, I love you, babe. And Sheena's like, thanks, honey. I love you too. Did I get you? Were you surprised? And Sheena's like, yeah. And he's like, I was about to fight everybody at the noodle bar because of where you are with Tom. And Sheena's like, well, I'm glad that I at least got that conversation out of the way with Ariana. And I mean, she seemed receptive enough. I'm in Groundhog's Day, man. How many conversations do you need to get out of the way with Ariana? But Scheana worries. She worries. So I understand, but it's so many conversations. Brock's like, did you tell her that you made things up with Tom? And Sheena's like, well, it's not that I made up things with him, honey. We had another step forward and a breakthrough conversation. So yeah, I said that. I didn't say he and I are best friends again because we're not. And Brock is like, okay. Next, we go over to Sandoval's messy room. Like, truly, like, this is I almost got scared that Maya, the dog, was there. I was like, is there any shit? Like, where are your laxative pills, Tom? He's back from a long day of figuring out his next outfit, and Schwartz knocks on the door, and Sam's like, yes. And Schwartz wears a hoodie and shades. He's like, did you leave your door open for me? And Sam's like, yes. And Schwartz is like, my God, you love Red Bulls. There's like half-eaten fries, empty Cokes and Diet Cokes, soup he ate, left the bread bowl completely untouched. But it is so much that I'm like, were other people in this room? Because this seems like excessive for just Tom. And Schwartz is like, what up, dude? Hey, dude, we just went up and had probably one of the best meals. But Ariana and Dan were there, and I feel like I got to know him better. He's fucking great. And Sandoval just stares at Schwartz, and Schwartz is like, it was fun. And Sandoval's like, yeah, well, Ariana's got good taste in men, dude. I know Sandoval is like half being like jokey, but it's just still so weird. And Schwartz laughs. He's like, oh, yeah, she does. We kept it pretty civilized, I think. Yeah? Yeah, Brock spoke from the heart, and he felt like the girls were being hypercritical of Scheana for just talking to you. Back in Scheana's room, she gets on a FaceTime call with Lisa Vanderpump. Why couldn't Lisa skedaddle down to San Francisco for the season finale? Like, I've got so many things to do with Wolf. Nick Lane says we need to pick out new antlers for the lighting fixtures. Lisa tells Scheana, good luck tonight with your band, the 27s. And she was like, thank you. You look pretty, Scheana. Are you ready to give them apples? Somebody behind the scenes are like, Lisa, before you get on this FaceTime call, remember her song is called Apples. Apples? Why? It doesn't make sense. Scheana's like, yeah, pretty soon. Lisa's like, how's everybody getting along? Okay. Do I need to guilt anybody into being nice to Sandoval? And she was like, oh, that's pretty good. I did have a good conversation with Sandoval last night. I felt like we were taking a couple steps forward where he actually listens to me. Look, Scheana, you've got a long history there. And she was like, I know. Let me ask you a question, dear Scheana. Do you still love him? Scheana goes, yeah. Well, there's your answer. Okay, time out. What the literal fuck? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's so romantic. Well, then you must run to him, Scheana. Run to him. Tell him how you feel. Like, what the fuck? Do you still love? Can we slow it down? Like, do you still love him? What? Was this like a script that Lisa was originally going to tell Rachel if she like came on and then she had to switch it last minute? It makes no fucking sense to me. Do you still love him? There's your answer, dear girl. Run to that man. Hold on to those painted nails and tell him how you feel. I was like mystified. I was like, what? Like, that is another moment where I felt like Kid and Todd, like, what the fuck are you telling her, Lisa? Are you fucking kidding me? Scheana's just a friend. What are you talking about? Please stop messing around with these kids. Please, I can't believe that. In Katie's room, Lala is just, yapping on. She's like, Scheana's got so much pressure on her, and it seems like she's going to Ariana to have some sort of like approval. I will, like, that's also what friends do. But anyways, Katie's like, Ariana's not going to be like, I really support this. I think you guys have a beautiful friendship and you should totally work on it. And Lala goes, I don't think that's what she's looking for. I think she's looking for her to say, you know what? I acknowledge the fact that you guys have a long relationship. If you feel you need to go and work something out with him, so just that you know that you like that, just that you know that you and I aren't going to change. Ariana does do that though. I'm losing my fucking mind. Did Lala not watch the season either? Like, I feel like we've heard that repeatedly. Katie's like, I don't think that's what's going to happen at the time. And Lala goes, right. So that's pressure on Scheana. Scheana now has to live her life for someone else who is thriving, but has made like rules for everyone. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Everybody needs to grow the fuck up. I need to grow the fuck up. Lala needs to grow the fuck up. Are you fucking kidding me? Grow the fuck up. This kind of shit, like, this is the kind of, like, this is, like, Lala is being soft. Her softness is reserved for Scheana. This softness she could actually have with Ariana as well. Is like, oh yeah, Ariana has had her live her life kind of being in the shadow of Tom Sandoval, who has made most of the rules and how he operates in a relationship most of the time. I just feel like it's so weirdly hypocritical. Katie's like, well, there's no rules. And I think this is a little bit more of a nuanced situation. Katie in the talking head says, Scheana really thinks that she should be the exception to this boundary that Ariana's created for herself of not wanting to have mutual friends with Tom. But Tom did not make a mistake. He made choices every day, over and over, for like months, and has nothing but doubled down on those choices that he made over and over and over and over. And Lala knows this. But Lala is so locked into this narrative that she's trying to push that Ariana is some undercover bad person. And Lala, and if she is this undercover bad person, you have failed because you have not been able to bring it out and show us on the show this horrible, horrible person. Katie goes, if she wants to be friends with Sandoval, go ahead, and then he can dump all over her when he wants and take advantage of her as a friend and be a shitty person. Like, if that's the kind of friends you need in your life, go for it. And that's the thing. Lala doesn't even like Tom Sandoval. Like, what does this take away from Lala that Ariana gets attention? What does this take away from her? In Sandoval's room, Schwartz is like, how was your conversation with Scheana last night? And Sam's like, it was really good, dude. She told me maybe to consider apologizing to Ariana for revealing some of the stupid mental health stuff. I think that's something I can do for sure, dude. I'll never apologize for fucking one of her friends, though. No way, dude. That's why they call me O.J. Simpson Scott Peterson. It's me, Darth Sandoval. Schwartz is like, I think it would be cathartic, but she might not. She might tell you to fuck off in the moment, but I think deep down it might still mean something to her. It won't mean something to her because Sandoval doesn't mean it. And this is what I've been telling you since the Nick Viall interview and the New York Times interview, is that some of this season, he impeded his own redemption arc. Not only do we get the hot mic moment at the end, but we got a spoiler alert when he did that interview with Nick Viall and the New York Times interview after the season had stopped filming, where we know that Tom has not grown. He does not realize what he has done still. I think there is hope for Tom, obviously, or he doesn't have to ever understand in his life. It doesn't really matter to us, but if he truly is trying to look at his behavior instead of just doing breath work and cold plunges, you could start at the actual situation that he created. And the more he hangs on to the narrative that he has created for himself, the more the audience will never get past it. his redemption arc will just be something that is a TV script rather than something realistic. And we won't buy it because he doesn't buy it. Sandoval goes, I'm not trying to be buddy buddy with Ariana, dude. She don't even fucking get pins and batteries. I know that's not going to happen, Schwartz. I just want the tension to maybe subside a little bit. I do want to point out we are still 3 months after this fact. Schwartz is like, well, just definitely don't go in there and get defensive. Or if she comes at you, don't. I know, dude. I'm not going to. I don't want to do that. I'm not stupid. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm really trying to do real work on myself and take actual action, dude. Did you see the breathwork episode, dude? Did you see me on the treadmill, dude? You think I take these laxative pills for my health? I'm working on myself, dude. Oh, did you go to therapy? Shut up, dude. I'm doing it my way, dude. I'm trying to be a better person, to become a better person, to learn from this scenario. And if weeks, months, years, decades from now, she ever needs me, I'll always be there for her. She can call me any fucking time. If Ariana's like, ring, ring, what's up, dude? What's up, Ariana? Can I have laxative pills? Oh, of course. I was expecting this call. Totally, dude. Totally. And Schwartz is like, it'll probably be decades. What scenario will Ariana need to? This just feels like another thing that sounds good. It just sounds good. But in what world would Ariana need Sandoval at this point? She needed somebody like a trusted person. Even if you want to minimize their 9-year relationship to just friends and people that live together, that still was a huge piece of trust that was broken where she would never need him again. So also it's great because we get a commercial for Ariana hosting Love Island. She's going to Fiji soon, you guys. June 11th. It is coming up. We spin on over to Treasure Island for Kyle Chan's whiskey launch party. This guy does it all. Sandoval is finishing the stage setup. What's up, dude? I'm doing all the sound. I'm sound teching everything, dude. I'm doing this for Scheana, dude. The song with the 27th. Scheana and Brock arrive, and Tom is like, hey, dude, do you have another XLR chord? I think this is like Daft Punk. I'm doing it's like Coachella in here. Scheana's like, hey, you look handsome. And Kyle's like, I think Tom is running around. And Scheana meets Hassan, Sandoval's sound guy. And Hassan's like, here's number one. And Sheena's like, you do all the sound for his band? And he's like, yeah, I do all the sound for his band. I'm a professional engineer. Yeah, Tom pays me way more than I deserve. She's like, but you paid for him to be out here, Tom? And Sandoval's like, yeah, just for this show? And Sandoval's like, yeah, dude. I do want to point out for Kyle Chan's whiskey launch party. Sheena's like, wait, what? Sandoval just stands there and gives this proudest smile like, yeah, dude, my money's green. Uh-huh. She's like, thank you very much, Tom. I really appreciate that. Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Scheana and a talking head goes, this is the person I remember. The person that pays for things. He's my friend who does these type of things for people when they don't even ask. And it's so genuine. And that's what made this whole fallout so hard, because I do remember who he was to me for 15 years. I almost feel like let him be friends. You don't need to keep telling, we get it. And also, I will say, like I said, Tom really does do these things, but also Tom does these things on the show. Remember how he paid for most of Rachella for DJ James Kennedy's engagement to his future lover, Rachel Leviss? He did all of those things. But even he said, and in this interview with Tom I did a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, God, it's been that long. He even said, listen, it's for them, but it's also for the show. Cause he's like, I want the show to be awesome. I pictured the fireworks and how cool it would look on screen. It's another time where he kind of edits these things in his head. So part of it's a good friend, but part of it's like trying to create these big moments for television. Scheana goes, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Scheana finishes in a talking head, but that's just me making it about me. And I know Sheena's kind of being like wink to the camera and LOL, you guys, I hear what everybody's saying. But at the same time, yeah, you've turned this year of storylines about Ariana and Tom. You have put yourself really very close to all of the action. And I don't think that's false. I think Scheana really, really believes that. But this season has become about one person that wants nothing to do with Sandoval ever again, and one person that is willing to make a lot of it about Sandoval. and really try to reiterate what this show was essentially about, which was quote unquote friendships. So Scheana is like leaning into all of these things. It's just going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Sandoval puts his arm around Scheana. He's like, oh, I'm going to get changed, dude. I'm going to go put my cool outfit on. And she's like, I'm going to go have one drink. Katie, Lala, and Schwartz arrive. And Schwartz is like, are we on an island right now? It doesn't feel like we're on an island. They show an aerial view of pretty much an island with structures and a few trees on it. And Katie's like, yeah, we're on an island. Lala's like, we're on an island. And Brock's like, hey guys, right this way. And Schwartz to Brock is like, your pants are sick, dude. Brock, he's wearing like this gold type pattern on black trousers, very flashy. Brock, did you catch Brock's dancing throughout the entire episode? It's like MC Hammer reborn. There's a lot of people already at the event, a lot of cameras flashing pictures. The place looks kind of cool. Scheana, Katie, Allie, and Lala get their picture taken. DJ James Kennedy's wearing all black with a gold bow tie. He's taking a picture with Allie, and he's like, what side would you like, Allie Bally? They get their photo snapped in the step and repeat in front of the Gold Bar Distillery white paper, wallpaper. We see Tom with Ty, T, that girl, and Billy Lee. Hassan, the sound engineer to Scheana, is like, I say we could just do a rough line check, just make sure stuff's coming out, and then we're pretty much ready to go. And Sheena's like, okay. The band, the 27s, are getting their instruments ready. Sheena's doing her sound check, and Sheena's on the mic. She's like, hey, who's feeling good as gold tonight? Good as gold tonight. Good as gold tonight. Scheana and the Talking Head goes, this is the first time performing not solo. I have a full band of dudes behind me. Scheana the Alley says, you look gorgeous. That dress is perfect. They're all sitting in this black sofa lounge area. Scheana continues in a Talking Head. I'm used to performing on top of a bar after a couple of tequila shots. And then we do like the whole, I'll open Pandora's box for you. And we flash back to 2013, which she's just doing that on the Sir bar top. Stassi's in the crowd dancing. We see Mike Shay, rest in peace. Scheana finishes in a Talking Head. She's like, this is like a big deal. I do say I have the soft spot. Like I've seen Scheana perform on bars before, and that really was her thing. She was ready to throw down at a moment's notice. It is weird to think, and I don't know if I necessarily believe that she's never done a sound check, because she even performed at BravoCon in New York a couple of years ago, and that was on a big stage that I imagine they did some sort of sound check for. But Scheana, I will say, in these moments is a professional. She is one of those people that you throw something at her and you can tell she loves it. She loves it, loves it, loves it. And I do like the fact that she, is like, this is a big deal. Like, I don't know. It just speaks to that thing of us all wanting to be stars in a way, and the life of a performer or an actor, and just trying to like make every little opportunity something. We see a black Lexus drive up. Dan helps Ariana out of the car. Both are dressed, really good looking couple. Still fascinated with Dan's hair in this. They go inside to find the group in the lounge seating area. Everybody's like, oh my God, you look great. You look great. Ariana kisses them both hello. And Ariana lets us know that she has a sty coming on, which I think is the physical representation of Sandoval. And Scheana's like, I don't have any breast milk left. And Ariana's like, oh my God, that's right. And Dan's like, that's such a mom thing to know. Okay. Allie is sitting on James's lap and he gives her a kiss. He's like, stop being so freaking cute, Allie Bally. Do you want to go check out the sunset before it goes down? She's like, yeah, let me whisk you away, Allie Bally. And they go outside and James is like, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's been such a nice weekend with everybody. And then Allie goes, it's been so fun, but I miss Hippie so much, and the cats. And it's like, well, like, where did this out? Like, all of a sudden you miss Hippie? Like, Hippie has really, and it really does kind of really go against the narrative that Rachel put out in her Rachel Goes Rogue podcast about how bad of a dog dad DJ James Kennedy was. And it seems like, I mean, just to go by these little scenes that we see of Hippie, that Hippie is doing good. I mean, just by what we see on the show. So I'm curious. I mean, like, there are two sides to every story, but it is interesting after hearing Rachel's and then seeing the, physical representation of it actually happening. It's very different. But I just love that Allie is like, I miss Allie. I miss Hippie and the cats. And I'm like, I wonder what they're doing right now. Like, who's watching them? Oh, Hippie. No. Hippie. No. Hippie. Bad Hippie. Bad. No. Sorry. I had to, folks. I'm sorry. James is like, I do. I certainly do. Speaking of hippie, I know that I said hippie was my priority, but you, my love, are my priority. You're my number one priority. I love you more than anything. My heart explodes when I look at you. Every morning I wake up next to you and I'm just like the luckiest man on the planet. And I love you and I would do anything for you and I would do anything to make you happy. You just have. And I was like, holy shit, is he about to propose? And she's like, no. It was like, oh no. But he's like, I'm the luckiest man on the planet. And she's like, can I go to that wedding? No, we're not ready for that yet. I did wonder what happened to that wedding that she wanted to go to. Remember a couple episodes? Anyways, Allie's like, well, that means a lot to me. It really does. I know I said I'm not ready for marriage yet, but when I am, I want it to be with you. That's like winning like a second place trophy where it's like, okay, yeah. James is like, what? Like, but he's happy. He's like, what? No way. Before I didn't even think I made the top 10. James is like, what did you say? And Allie's like, I love you. And he's like, oh my God, guys night forever. James in a talking head says, when I was a teenager and looking back, I definitely had my life kind of mapped out in front of me. You're going to, meet the love of your life at 24, be a busser at Sir for the, 10 years. Then you're going to fall madly in love. You're married at 26, baby's coming out at 28. Move on over to the valley after that. My dad, he had me at 28. And I just follow kind of in my dad's footsteps and stuff. And they show us an adorable photo of James on his young father's Andros's lap from 1994. Any picture of DJ James Kennedy as a kid is so fucking cute. James stops and he starts to tear up as he does in his talking heads. I wouldn't change anything because it led me to where I am today. I love Allie more than anything, and I would tell younger James, like, you're going to go through a lot of shit before you find someone that truly makes you happy. And I would tell Rachel that she sucks at giving public speeches. James to Allie is like, I love you so much, Allie Bally. You're my baby. Back inside the event, Schwartz meets up with Joseph. He's like, Joseph, what's up? Joe has arrived in a beautiful, elegant black dress. And she's like, bee-boo-bop. Tom, what's up? And Schwartz is like, hey, what you doing? Hey, how are you? Team Money? Joseph in a talking head's like, I do really love Schwartz. We make a really good team. No, you don't. I would have liked to be together, and it breaks my heart. But what am I supposed to do? Like, lay in bed and cry? Allie walks up, and she's like, will you go get a champagne? And Schwartz is like, for you? And Allie's like, both of us. 2 champagnes. Joseph continues in a talking head. At the end of the day, I want him in my life for the rest of my life. Schwartz returns with 3 glasses of champagne, and Allie's like, I feel like it's New Year's, but it's not. And Joe's like, I know. Schwartz is like, Allie, you look fabulous. Joseph, you look fabulous. Do you want to have a threesome? There he goes, you feel good, Joe? And Joe's like, T-Money, you look fabulous. And Schwartz is like, hey, I'm glad you came. And Joe's like, hey. Allie is just eyeing them closely. Like, am I safe? Schwartz is like, why don't you come back into the lion's den? Meaning the back-seated area with Katie and Lala. And this is where I feel like Schwartz just really did her dirty of like, hey, double dog dare you to go apologize to Katie. I bet it will go well. Joe goes, it's just that I don't like negative energy, so I avoid it. Hey man, you're on negative energy, negative energy rules. What are you talking about? George is like, no, they're not negative. I mean, well, I don't know what I'm saying. And Joe's like, not all of them. And they show Katie sitting, and Schwartz is like, what, Katie? Who cares? And Joe's like, what if I want to tell her how I feel, that I love your pee-pee? And Joe in a talking head's like, I just really want this to be over, so I'm hoping that maybe if I can say I'm sorry, I'm hoping she'll say sorry back. I almost feel like we can hear the producer laughing in the background. I'm like, okay, yeah, man, good luck, Joe. Yeah, I'm sure Katie will say it back. George is like, let's go, Joe. Come on, let's do it. Joe finishes in the talking head. I don't know if she hates me because of Schwartz and my connection, but he could date a tree and she'd chop it down. Like, good luck, next woman. It is funny that Katie randomly seems to actually like Schwartz's new girlfriend, so that must be a ding to Joe. Schwartz brings her over, and he's like, you guys know Joe, obviously. And Lala's like, yeah, I know Joe. And Joe sits down next to Lala, who's sitting next to Katie. And Schwartz is like, Joseph, do you want to say something? And Joe's like, well, I just wanted to say, like, sorry if I ever hurt you. And Katie's like, sorry if? Yeah. And Katie's like, it's not a sorry if, it's just a sorry. Kay, I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's weird. You're weird, Katie says. And Lala goes, no, don't do that, Katie. Don't do that. Stop policing. Oh, remember Bambi-eyed bitch? Remember all the times that you what? Stop policing people. You don't know how to properly act yourself. How all of a sudden you're going to tell everybody how to properly act? Lala, God. It is, I just once again, Lala is, I don't know. I feel like Lala thinks she's protecting the show, but the show didn't need it. And in a sense, the show itself hangs Lala out to dry because she's acting like a loon in the name of the show, and none of it adds up to the audience. I don't know. Katie goes, all right, well, it is what it is, Joe. And Joe's like, well, do you feel like you owe me an apology? And Katie's like, no. And Joe's like, I sent you a genuine text about the divorce, and I really mean it. They show the infamous text, which reads, Bieber loves you, I love you, and I'm so supporting of your inner thoughts and visions. Live in the moment. You're a gem, and I've always respected you. I love you. XO Joe. P.S. I'm going to fuck your husband. Katie goes, yeah, and then suddenly moved in with him and then asked him if he would like stay with him. And Joe's like, no, that's not how it happened. And Lala goes, she's saying like the way you moved, you were like texting her, I'm so sorry, I'm going to go move in with him now. Schwartz, who's listening, is like, she never moved in with me. We never lived together. You can check the lease. Never signed it. Katie's like, okay, fine. She stayed. And Lala goes, it doesn't matter. You guys still stayed together and had sex. And then texting Katie, I'm so sorry about your divorce. And then within seconds, it was, hold up. I mean, true. Like, that's it. That's why Joe needs to take the L. The fact that she's mystified about how Katie feels about a 12-year relationship doesn't hold a lot of water with me. And it almost kind of like makes me think, what bullshit are you peddling? Like, I like Joe. I want her on next season, but like, accept that you did move in mysterious ways that didn't necessarily add up for anybody except for you and your heart, selfishly, which is fine because a lot of people do that when they think they're in love. Ariana over on the other side of the seating to Dan goes, I don't know what's going on over there, but it's not good. Back to Joe. Joe's like, but there were like months in between all of these things. And I just wish I would have had a space to explain that I feel really bad about that. And Katie goes, I just feel like you always had it for him and we're like waiting for your moment. And Lala goes, I don't know if I believe that. And Joe goes, not even close. Back to Ariana. She goes, Schwartz keeps bringing her around Katie. And it's like, why? And Dan goes, I don't know who she is. And Ariana goes, it's a long story. And Dan goes, okay. That's just amazing because Dan is a reminder to the audience that the majority of people just don't give a fuck and don't even know any of this shit. And those people are probably so at peace. Dan's like, I don't even know who that is. It's a long story. Okay, cool. Like, it's like, yeah, that's what, somebody you're like, oh yeah, okay, they'll figure it out. Katie goes, next time, Joe, when you want to let a woman know that you love and support them and she's going through a divorce, don't move in with her ex-husband. And Joe goes, I wasn't your friend though. I didn't move in. And George is like, she didn't move in with me. I love that we're stuck on this one thing. Like, no, she didn't officially move in. Katie goes, fine, don't stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month. Don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. And Joe was like, I was couch surfing. And Katie goes, don't fucking do it. Stay with someone else. Stay with anyone else. Stay with literally anyone else, Joe. And Joe goes, no. Because Kristen Doute said she could have stayed with her. Katie goes, find someone else to stay with next time. And Joe goes, let him go. Katie shakes her head. I feel like Katie, for the most part, has let Schwartz go in so many ways. It was just you because you actually had her number and texted, like, you start anyway. Schwartz is like, Katie goes, Joe, you're a fucking liar. And Schwartz is like, she's not a liar. And Katie's like, yes. And Joe begins to cry. And Lala to Joe goes, you're fine, Joe. Joe, you're fine. And Schwartz is like, Katie, ease up a little. And Katie goes, hey, before you think this is weird, I'm going to stay with your ex-husband who you're not yet divorced from, who you're probably untangling your fucking life from. And it's probably a difficult fucking time. And Joe goes, I wasn't thinking about you. I was thinking about myself because I had... And Katie goes, you could have thought of me as a woman. You could have thought of me. And Schwartz is like, she just came over to make peace, not confront. Tatanka, Katie. And Katie's like, I don't want peace. And Joe gets up and leaves, which is Katie's right. This is so funny, these narratives that we force upon people, and especially women on these shows of Ariana has to forgive Tom, has to like accept his scenes, his one-on-ones. Oh, Katie needs to make peace if Joe apologizes. No, you can do what you want to do. Katie doesn't need Joe in her life. Schwartz is like, she just wanted to chat. She feels really uncomfortable. Katie goes, I'm not doing that. And Schwartz is like, I know, but Katie's like, I don't give a shit how she feels. Her feelings are none of my business. And Schwartz is like, Katie, oh man. Katie's like, do you want to be my friend? And he's like, yeah, then keep it away from me. And Schwartz is like, but I don't like ultimatums or like quid pro quos. And Katie's like, I don't give you an ultimatum. I said, keep it away from me. And Katie leaves. Schwartz looks flummoxed like, oh man. Oh, gee, gosh darn, Willie, I hope my plants are okay. We cut to Scheana flipping out because her dress breaks in one of the extended scenes. Brock is like, I'll get you a fur jacket to cover you up. But then Brock grabs the wrong jacket, somebody else's jacket, and DJ James Kennedy's like, that's not even your jacket. And then we see Brock like thrusting, dancing. He's like, yeah, I learned it on a pig farm. I'm dancing. I'm doing wheel dancing. Yeah. The guests seem to be having a good time. Scheana and Lala have moved over to the bar where Kyle Chan is hanging, and Santa's like, how you doing, ladies? I heard you guys went to Chinatown. And Lala goes, oh my God, we had the best food today. And she's like, it was so good. And Santa's like, yeah, dude, I heard food is good. And Lala goes, it was great. It was like easy. You look really nice, Tom. Tom looks like Jim Carrey a little. Do you ever catch that vibe? Anyway, Sam's like, thanks. And she's like, yeah, you look really dapper. Brock walks up in his full gold brooch jacket and pants. Sandoval looks him up and down and goes, yeah, man, dude, nice dress. And Scheana's like, keep the jacket on, even if you're hot, Brock. It's the look. And Lala's like, okay, I'm going to go sit down. Love you. Sandoval pulls Brock close and he's like, hey, dude. I just want to say, dude, Schwartz told me that you stuck up for me today, dude. And I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Here's $100, dude. Yeah, there's more where that came from, dude. Dap it up. Hey, Brock, dude, what's your Venmo, dude? I heard you stuck up for me today. What do you think about a cool 1,000 in your pocket to buy new weird outfits to dance in, right? Well, let's just say you're on the Sandoval payroll right now. Brock's like, hey, look, I feel like we're in the middle. We're not Switzerland. We're friends with both of you guys. And Sandoval's like, yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Brock's like, you're welcome. I know it does. And Sandoval's like, it doesn't happen often, dude. So I appreciate it. What we need to see from you, bro, is step up and be here for yourself, for her and for your friends. And slowly that group might grow again. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Brock, though. It's like, yeah, that's all true. Like, show up for yourself, work on it. Slowly, the group will get back. That's why, like, the forcing the group and all of this bullshit is so weird because it's like, let shit happen naturally. And that's why it's good that they're taking a break. Let people miss people. Let all that shit happen itself. Scheana's listening to all this, and Scheana in a talking head is like, I understand what he did to Ariana was absolutely terrible. But also, I just want to point out, Sandoval also was the person at the reunion that was like, you fucking hit Rachel, dude. You fucking did it, man. Like, Sandoval went against you in a legal situation. Scheana's like, I just wish that when it came to me in the situation, it wasn't so black and white, and she could see how much I'm struggling by trying to just be loyal to her. Like I've always, Scheana, just do your own thing, man. Let the cards fall where they may. I think you'll be surprised that how it'll all work out is that Ariana's not leaving you, that you can you can put this to bed, like, and stop saying the same thing over and over again. I think you'll be golden. You'll be good as gold. She's like, I don't want to lose her, but I feel like I'm losing myself. I need to just let this shit go. It's enough. The other thing I think we're not seeing, the piece that we're missing, is Ariana pulling Scheana aside and being like, if you ever talk to him again, I will never talk to you. But we just haven't had those scenes. We've had like alluding to of like, you won't have access to my personal life, all of this stuff, but it's never been like, Scheana, I will not talk to you again. You know, Lala had Ariana post something to tell people to take it easy on Scheana. Multiple scenes we've had with Scheana and Ariana where I feel like at this point, Scheana can trust that Ariana is going to be okay with her. But also, friendships grow apart. There are seasons in friendship, and there are times when people get super busy and you grow distant. And it doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. Anyways, Brock's like, okay, just be here for your friends, and we'll be here for you, bro. Oh, God. Sam's like, thanks, man. I will, dude. I will. Sandoval walks away. Fucking loser. Schwartz is back in the corner. He's like, Dan, it was nice meeting you, dude. Nice chilling with you in Chi-Town. Are you guys doing anything afterwards? And Ariana pauses and goes, Applebee's. And Ariana's like, all about that Applebee's life right now. What the fuck is going on? And does this fly in the face of the Chili's ad with Scheana and Katie? I'm so confused with the Applebee's of it all. Like, I like Applebee's, but I didn't know we had Applebee's life. And Applebee's reminds me of a simpler time in my life in high school. And I'm really trying to take it serious, but I'm like, Applebee's, Chili's must be livid right now. Sandoval moves over to the seating area, and Ariana to Dan is like, I want a wine. And she sees Tom coming. She's like, uh-oh, this is not happening. Starting early. And Sandoval goes up to Schwartz, who's like 6 feet away from Ariana and Dan. And Sam's like, I'm just chilling, Schwartz. I was looking for you. And Schwartz is like, oh, yeah? I was looking for you, too. And Sandoval looks up at Ariana and Dan. He's like, oh, hey, Schwartz, let me get by, dude. Let me get by. And, he's like trying to squeeze past Schwartz. And Sandoval interrupts like, hey, Dan. Hey, what's up, dude? I want to introduce myself, dude. Yeah. And he sticks out his hand and sees Dan's not going to do the same. So he touches his shoulder. Ariana's trapped in her seat, looking down at her phone, and she won't look up. Like, make me a bird, fly far, far away. Make me a bird so I can fly far, far away. This is the moment where we do need Ken of like, I can't believe you'd approach now. We don't need this. You fucking Raquel in the jacuzzi. I can't believe that. Ken Todd saving the day. Sandoval goes, Dan, I'm Tom, dude. I hear you're a great guy. I just want to say what's up. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Huh. Don't expect any pins and batteries from this one, am I right? Can I smell your fingers, Dan? Anywho, you going to Burning Man this year, dude? I had a weird pool party earlier in the summer, and let's just say if you're into younger girls, swing by my house. You're obviously friendly with my roommate, right? Hey, dude, you seem in shape. What kind of laxative pills are you doing? Anywho, I'm just rambling right now. Hey, do you like the band Foreigner? Sometimes I'll do some of their covers. Anyways, what kind of lightsaber? Like, do you like Star Wars? Yeah. Anyway, just what's great. Hey, man, whiskey. What's it? Kyle Chan, right? We go way back. Hey, what's your take on O.J. Simpson? What do you think about that? Dan, can I ask you about Scott Peterson for a second? He's presumed guilty, but we can't tell, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, oh man, can I feel your triceps? Is there any way I can feel a tricep? Because it just seems like you're stacked, dude. And like Ariana, like, she got great taste in guys. Like, look at me, dude. I'm always on the treadmill. It's crazy, dude. Woo! Have you ever met Kristen Doute before? Yeah, she's crazy. Hey, you see Oppenheimer? Yeah. Hey, do you watch The Gilded Age on HBO Max? Isn't that crazy? HBO Max. It was like HBO and then it was HBO Max. And then I just noticed it was Max. And it's like, oh, you're confusing me. You know what I'm saying, Dan? Can I get a hug? Is there any way I can get a hug? Yeah, okay. No, it's great. Okay, I'm just going to, anyways, cool. Nice to meet you, dude. Nice to meet you. And Dan goes, you too. And Allie is just like watching this intensely, everybody's body language. And Schwartz is like, hey, you said what's up? And he's like, yeah, dude, of course. Like that, like, I'm a real man, dude. And Schwartz stands up. And he's like, what'd you say? And he's like, I said, nice to meet you. And Schwartz is like, oh, shit. Allie to Dan and Ariana goes, how did that go? And Dan's like, I mean, like, it went. And Allie goes, I'm not going to lie. I shit myself. And Schwartz is like, I feel like I need to leave. And Sam's like, that's okay, dude. That's fine. I'm pretty cool. I'm chilling, dude. Allie goes, but you did what? You just looked down and you were like, and Ariana goes, well, I was texting with Logan because Logan is at Beyonce right now. God, I remember this time. Because I remember Mom was still alive and I was flying back. Where was I? I just remember. Anyways, Beyonce was in Los Angeles, and Logan Cochran, her BFF, was at Beyonce right now, which is a very exciting thing. But also, I don't think Ariana would want to look up at the car crash. Allie says, well, I feel like it had to happen. Now, Ariana goes, it doesn't have to happen at all. He's not in my life. And Allie's like, right. And I will say this too, because we don't know what will happen in future seasons, is that DJ James Kennedy will potentially have to answer for some really weird things and potential rumors that are out there. Rumors, as Meredith would say. And, these are examples when times get tough, like Allie should take all of this into account of like, and Ariana points this out in the after show. She's like, show me on my contract where I'm required to do anything. I have not broken any sort of contractual obligation. Me and my cast do not have to do scenes. And she's like, and all of my cast have actually walked away from scenes in the past. Ariana in a talking head says, I'm not here as like a cog in the machine of Tom Sandoval's redemption arc. So you guys can do that without me. She says that kind of like to production. But that's true. It's like, this isn't the Tom Sandoval show, and we were building up a fallen idol, a fallen hero. Like, that isn't the purpose of Ariana. This is not the purpose of females, is to build up the males. The whole point is Tom will figure this out for himself away from breath work and cold plunges. Schwartz is like, yeah, I know you wanted to talk to Ariana, but I'm picking up like, I don't think it's a good time. Like with Dan there, you do what you want to do. And sounds like, I want to, dude, but I don't know, man. Schwartz is like, well, I don't think it's the right time. Even Schwartz is like, listen, man, I make pretty idiotic decisions myself. I'm even feeling like no go on this. And sounds like, yeah, dude, I don't know. Maybe I will. I'm thinking no. Yeah, but maybe I will. I don't know, dude. I'll see how I feel in the moment. Now, DJ James Kennedy in an extended scene, he's spinning, and we see this weird guy in a suit who is like coming up in like the private section and like drinking the liquor. This is like this weird guy, and he's like being really weird. And DJ James Kennedy's like, who is this fucking guy? Brock, get that guy out of here. And Brock like grabs the seat that the weird guy is sitting. He's like, hey, brother, I need to sit down right here. I got to sit because I've been dancing too hard. And Katie, everybody's there kind of watching this guy. And Lala's like, this guy, he left and now he started working his way back to us. And all of a sudden we see the security guard fighting him. Like he hits the security guard's like, and then all of a sudden he throws a glass. And this is when Tom Sandoval gets in the middle of it. We saw this on social media. This was in the extended scene on Peacock. And I know why they cut it out because it didn't really further the plot. It made no sense. It was just a weird dude wanting some sort of attention. But Tom Sandoval was like trying to be the hero of like, what's up, dude? Hey, dude, we don't need to do this, dude. Hey, dude, just chill out, dude. Chill out. It's going to be all right. Hey, it's not your fault, dude. It's not your fault. Look at me, dude. Look at me. Put down the bottle of weird whiskey from Kyle's can, dude. Do it. Anyways, he's like this guy picks up a chair. It's just dumb. It really doesn't. It's exciting for a second. Scheana's getting ready to do her thing. She's now dressed up like C-3PO. She's really, beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. She's in this really awesome gold outfit. And she's like, I don't know my ass was going to be out in this outfit. And Brock's like, honey, you look great. I'm going to be front row and I'll see you out there. I love ya. And Kyle Chan opens up the mic. She's like, are you guys all having a good time? Let's welcome Scheana Marie. And Scheana comes bouncing out on the stage. She's like, how you doing? Everyone looks good as gold tonight. Hold for applause. The gang in the crowd, they're all cheering. Landis, the singer from the 27, begins. He's like, let me see those hands up in the air right now. We're going to be good as gold tonight. But they start with the hit song Apples. I actually like this song. Like, narcissistic psycho, cut you out like lipo, see right through you with my eyes closed, from a Ferrari to a Jetta. I thought that you knew better. And we see Ariana and Lala singing along, both very good friends that have memorized the lyrics to Scheana's song. They show Sandoval smiling and rocking out in the crowd. At this point, remember, he was all pissed off that the song was about him, but now he's like, pretty sweet, dude. Sandoval in a talking head says, I wasn't so crazy about the song Apple initially. We flash back to Sandoval stomping out of Tom Tom with his 3 man bags in his Zara pantsuit. He's like, keep cashing out on my misery. Sandoval in a talking head continues, but it's growing on me, dude. Also, I am so stoked to see Scheana really pushing like her music. I'm excited to see it. I'm a good guy, dude. APPLES, how you like them? Saw you on the internet. You a hot mess. APPLES, how you like them? How you like them? Who you like them? And then in an extended scene, we got, who wants one more? Good as gold, baby. Lala yells, we love you, Scheana. We fucking hate you, Ariana. Scheana finishes the song. She's like, I need a shot. Scheana in a talking head goes, I feel like I've fallen back in love with music again and performing, and this really means a lot to me. Scheana's backstage, and she's like, I need a water. I got a little dry. Sandoval comes back, and he's like, you rang? Water? He hugs her, and he's like, you guys fucking killed it. Holy shit, dude. I'm going to tell the most extras. They've got to get it together. Holy shit. Scheana continues in a talking head. Tom stepped up and helped us out when he didn't have to. Hopefully he continues down his path of buying things for me. No, I mean, but only time will tell. And then Scheana has this like cut. It's in the extended Peacock version, but Scheana talks to the band, the 27. She's like, I have to ask you guys all something. Like last night I dreamt, I didn't know if it was a real conversation or not, but do you guys want me in the band? Like I was like, honey, I think I'm in the band, or maybe I was dreaming. And the guys were like, yeah, we want you in the band. And then she's like, oh my God, are we going on tour? Yes. Tom is like holding water bottles to pass. And Tom's like, oh, you're in the band? She the fuck yeah, dude. I'm so supportive. Do you see this camera? I'm where's Ariana with water? Not fucking here, because she's fucking lazy and stupid. I do like that Scheana's in a band. I think that's great. Ariana goes to Dan. She's like, hey, I'm going to go hug Scheana. And I'm going to go hug Scheana, she says. Hold on one sec. So yeah, Ariana goes to hug Scheana, tells Dan, I'll be right back. And she meets Scheana at like this high top table in the middle of the room, hugs her. And this is a really weird scene because the whole thing of this is that you picture, I don't know if it was set up by production, but the whole point of this scene is for like Tom Sandoval to pop out. Like, let's get this scene to happen. And I just almost feel like they used Scheana as bait. And I do wonder how aware Scheana was of Tom Sandoval coming into this scene. And it does feel a little weird where production was like, fuck it, we just got to try to make this happen. However, we just got to try. We're so close. Sandoval went up and said hi to Dan. We've got to try to make this happen. When is she going to be away from Dan so we can do this and pop this, pop Sandoval onto her? Because it doesn't feel, it feels staged to a degree. And Ariana to Scheana's like, you killed it, honey. You killed it. Cheers. And Scheana's like, whiskey kicks off the party. And Ariana's like, we're down in 8 or 9. And Scheana goes, yeah. Hey, so do you know who Hassan is? And she's like, Sandoval's like sound guy or whatever. And Ariana is like, no, I don't know who that is. Like, what a way to start it off of like something about Sandoval. Scheana goes, he flew him out like his sound operator, like person to get all of the equipment and like maybe like fool me once, twice. I don't know. But I've seen that genuine side of him that I loved for 15 years, who has been a good friend to me. And I'm hoping he's changing and becoming better. But that's great for Scheana. But it's like, why would Ariana ever like be like, oh, I'm looking at Sandoval different because of how he treats you, Scheana? Like, that's amazing for Scheana, but why bring that up to Ariana? Why, it's like, I mean, this is obviously just for the show because you wouldn't normally bring this up in any kind of normal conversation. But Ariana's listening to this and you can just tell in her eyes of like, what is going on again? Ariana and I talking to us says, it's just the same thing over and over with Scheana. I don't know why she thinks that somehow she knows this man better than I do, but all right, girl, happy for you. And she gives the thumbs up and Scheana's like, I just want to continue to see if he's on a path of growth, but like, I don't want it. And Ariana's like, hey, can I ask you a favor? And she's like, yeah. And Ariana kind of has tears in her eyes and she says, hey, don't talk to me about that path of growth. He's an ex-boyfriend of mine who does not deserve to be in my presence and breathe the same air as me, and that will not change. And Scheana's like, I know it's like hard and like you say no contact, but also I feel like you want different apologies from him. Like when and Ariana's like, I don't want him to speak to me ever again. I don't want apologies. And Scheana's like, well, when I said, oh, I apologize for things I said on my podcast, you said, oh, am I ever going to get an apology? And Ariana goes, well, I didn't mean I want him to apologize. I mean that he'll never, like it seems very much beyond him. Like she nails this. And Scheana's like, well, I feel like last night, and Ariana's like, I don't want any apology. And she's like, okay, well, that's fine. I just don't ever want to lose you or compromise our friendship. And I will always have your back. And Ariana smiles and goes, I know. And I think Ariana does believe this as much as Scheana can, she will. And Ariana, sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Ariana knows that, I think, about Scheana. And Ariana loves Scheana for who Scheana is. And I think in the purest form, that's really great. Scheana goes, I just feel like I just can't completely write him off forever. Once again, something that Ariana does not need to really know. Ariana in a talking head goes, I will protect myself and keep myself out of situations that I find hurtful or uncomfortable for me. Ariana to Scheana goes, well, I want him literally to never speak to me. You can't be any clearer than that. Ariana continues in her talking head, but like I never once said I don't love her or I'm going to stop loving her, that we're not going to be connected anymore. Now, this is a little bit of an editor troll. We get a flashback to 6 months previously with Schwartz, And Ariana's like, I will not have mutual friends with him, so I'm not your friend anymore, Schwartz. I also want to point out, though, that was right on the heels of this, but also Schwartz actively participated in the cover up because he knew about Rachel from the get go. He knew the day after. Is Ariana supposed to treat Schwartz it's different with Schwartz. It is. And she's talking to Schwartz now. We get a flashback to 1 month earlier. Katie going, so if someone doesn't want to be friends with him again, you ain't going to be their friend? And Ariana goes, yeah. And a flashback to 1 week earlier, Ariana to Lala saying, he doesn't get any sort of access to my life via me or my mutual friends. Ariana continues in a talking head, so I just don't know why she's not understanding that. I think these 3 examples don't even really add up in a certain way either, because I didn't take any of those as I'm never talking to Scheana again. I don't know. Like, listen, what do you guys think? I'm at a loss for this one because I know what they were trying to do. I just don't think they necessarily achieved it. And I don't really feel like, anyways, Scheana's like, I just don't ever want to lose you. And Ariana's like, you're not losing me. You're my family. I love you so much. Which, by the way, these lines just immediately undercut that editor troll we just saw. They hug, and Scheana's like, I love you so much. And Ariana's like, you'll never lose me. Never. And they kiss. Ariana looks around and goes, Brock said we're never allowed to kiss. She looks straight at Scheana. She goes, I love you. Me and you are warriors. And Scheana's like, I know. And Ariana's like, I don't want you worrying. You're not going to lose me. I can't lose you. You're my family. How much clearer can somebody make it for somebody? How much clearer? That is so clear. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Sandoval pops up. Sneak attack! And he puts his hand on Scheana. He's like, Scheana, great job, by the way. Hey, what's up, Ariana? Tom Sandoval, what's up? Sandoval goes, no. Ariana just startled, stiffens, and turns and walks away. And he's like, Ariana, wait 1 second, please, please. I was just seeing if I could collect bill for like the electricity bill, the cable. No, like it's just wild. He's like, hey, what's up, Scheana? Great job, by the way. Ariana, wait 1 second, please, please. And Scheana's like, no, Tom, it didn't work. Tom. Sandoval turns to Scheana. I just wanted to tell her I'm sorry for the cameras. And Scheana's like, she doesn't want to talk to you. I already tried. It's not happening. Which really leads you to believe that this was kind of this weird setup in a way. Ariana, it's kind of like, I'm going to use another Star Wars thing here in Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian, like Han Solo and Leia, they're all at Cloud City. And then all of a sudden, we find out that Lando did a deal with Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was like, Darth Sandoval. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Ariana walks to the area where production is standing, and she's fuming. The producer, Jeremiah, is like, Ariana, seriously, don't do this. And Ariana's like, it's not happening. Ariana to Jeremiah, with Dan standing by her side, goes, him fucking walking up on me, talking to Scheana, he doesn't fucking care if I died in a fucking ditch or got a deadly STD. The way he was fucking around behind my back, that is non-informed consent, and he does not deserve to speak to me. He does not get access to me. And Jeremiah's like, I know. Like, they do know all of this stuff. They were just trying to do what they do. Scheana to the high top, to Tom, is like, she doesn't want to hear it from you. I told her about our conversation last night. She thinks you're performative. I'm an idiot. So, like, that's what you got from that beautiful conversation of her calling you a warrior, you guys, all of this. That's what you got. I'm in it. Like, it just is so weird. It's like, Scheana, be really happy with a thing of like, you're not going to lose Ariana, but immediately, like, it feels like this is like a bummed out thing that you couldn't have a scene with Tom. And also, she thinks you're performative. Like, yeah, a lot of us think you're performative at this point. That's why, another thing, they do need that break so Tom can actually connect with some kind of real feeling. Sandoval's like, do you know what's funny? Is that she knows me well enough to know that I'm not. Bullshit. Like, no, dude, what are you smoking? Scheana's like, so what do I mean to you? Tell me about it, stud. Sandoval pauses like it's a true question. He's like, you mean a lot, dude. And Scheana goes, because we're filming or because of life? And Sandoval doesn't know the difference. Like, he just does. He's like, what? He's like, brains like fogging up. He's like, what? I'm so good. Real life filming? What? He goes, no, I'm there, dude. I show up, And Scheana's like, don't make me look like a fucking idiot, Tom. And she walks away. And Sandoval calls out, hey, Scheana. Scheana keeps walking. Sandoval goes up to his little crowd of friends, Billy Lee, T. Sandoval's like, this is fucking bullshit, dude. And Billy Lee's like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Sandoval's angry. He's like, dude, Ariana's just going to go around saying that I'm not being honest and I'm performative. Do you know what it is? Ariana's fucking performative. She doesn't like any of these motherfuckers. So she can fuck off saying I'm performative, dude. It's a performative off. The anger here, like this is, it feel like, some of those moments when somebody like, Scheana's talking about the mask slipping. This feels like the mask slipping. This is what he feels. He's enraged that Ariana has been able to do it. Feels like Lala being enraged. She is enraged. This is all happening to him, even though he caused it. Where was this? It's so ridiculous. But yeah, he didn't get his way right here. Ariana's still talking to Jeremiah and goes, he wants 30 seconds with the audience. It doesn't want it with me. He wants it with the audience. Ariana in a talking head goes, whatever it is that Tom's trying to get for me is not for me. It's for him. I am the final boss in his video game of redemption. And because he can't get to the final boss, he's fucking pissed. And that's true. It's like he's went through all of these slings and arrows to get to this, to Ariana. And if he can do it by the buzzer, the finale, then maybe he has a chance of rehabbing this image, even though rehabbing the image would actually just come with time and hard work. But I think him doubling and tripling down, trying to fight all of this has almost impeded his process and us actually moving on. He's stalled a lot of like anything, not just him moving on. We haven't been able to move on because he keeps doubling and tripling down on bullshit. Ariana to Jeremiah is like, listen, we can go. I'm going to call a lift. I'll see you guys later. And Scheana's listening to this. Sandoval's still in a rage. If you don't want to film with your ex, like, don't be on your show, dude. You're the ex, you idiot. He's like, seriously, don't sit back on your fucking lazy ass and collect a fucking check for doing nothing, dude. I mean, that's your guy right there. That's Tom Sandoval. Ariana showed up. Like, what? Sandoval is raging to where Jeremiah and Scheana are. Ariana and Dan are gone. Lala and Schwartz are now there too. And Sam's like, dude, I'm fucking pissed, dude. Not at you, but I'm fucking pissed that she's fucking saying that shit, lazy piece of shit. Because Ariana, she doesn't fuck with you guys. On the real, dude. She fucking talks shit about all of you. She doesn't show up here, dude. She's not going to come to your fucking thing. She's not going to buy you a sound engineer, Cena. I'm going to come, dude. When push comes to shove, I'm fucking there, dude. And Scheana's getting upset. She's like, I know you are, Tom. I know. And Sam's like, okay. No, I know. I'm not yelling at you, babe. No. I love you, dude. No. She's like, you have been there for me. That's why I'm struggling, because you have been a good fucking friend. Gold Mike. Sam's like, I'm sorry that I've made it hard for you. She's like, she said to me that you're not. And Sam's like, it kills me, dude, because I know you're going to put up with a lot. And that means a lot to me. It really does. You're going to put up with a lot. Trying to push out tears. Come on, dude. Oh, tear ducts, don't fail me now. Sandoval in a talking head goes, I know it's going to be really hard for the people who stick by me or stick up for me. These people haven't even forgiven me. They're just recognizing me as a person. And they're still going to get a relentless amount of hate for that. Things pop up from social media, posts online, from different accounts. I'm sick of Lala's pandering. You can't be softer if you're giving a psycho cheater a second chance while talking trash about your BFFs and their business. Another comment. James may be worse than Scheana and Lala. He's put in more effort to keep Tom than both of them with zero flack. Another comment. I can't take any more of Sheena's tears for Tom. Why doesn't she have them for Ariana? Does she have a crush on him? Another comment. I can't with the terrible trio of Lala, Scheana, and Tom. And if they want to be friends, they can leave because I'm done. Eat shit and bye-bye. Another comment. Lala has to preach about her growth, but going behind your friend's back and befriending her ex is not growth. Lala. Yeah. These comments are heroes, man. Yes. But yeah, Tom has a lot of work to do. And like I said, he could have made this a lot easier on himself. But at the same time, that wouldn't be real because he truly is not sorry yet. Ariana's out front with her posse, and Ariana's like, I love you guys. Where are we going? Applebee's. What is the Applebee's deal? Inside, Lala goes, little Lala's like, get him, Lala. Let's take this town. Lala goes, I have my own point of view, and I've been biting my tongue because it's very hard to do this. And sounds like, because you're afraid. And Lala yells, no, I'm not afraid. It's a lot of breaking the fourth wall, so I'm doing it now. This happened to her. The world rallied around her. She now thinks she is Beyonce. It's bullshit that she can't film with someone that she stays under the same fucking roof. It's a lot. And Sam's like, you said it, chemotherapy. Lala's still yelling. It's a lot that she's saying, don't fuck with Tom Sandoval. Don't fuck with Tom Sandoval. But I'm going to sleep down the hall from Tom Sandoval. I get it. He fucking cheated. You did a really fucking thing. You're a fucking piece of shit. Tom's like, watch out. Hey, come on. Cool out. No, she's like, you did a really fucking shitty thing. It was weird how you looked us all in the eye and said a lot of shit. But he didn't kill him. I love it. Lala's like, it was weird, man. He goes, but he didn't kill somebody. And Scheana's like, I know. And I'm going to back you up there. Man. Oh, man. Ugh. Lala yells, he didn't kill anybody. Everybody, like, this is like Overactors Anonymous right now. Everybody's getting their like digs in. And, this is Lala. Oh, I held it back, They show Ariana and Dan outside getting a kiss and waiting. And Lala keeps screaming, she moved on 8 days later. 8 days. Scheana goes, I agree with you, Lala. And Sheena's like, remember, I agree with you. And I want you to know that. Like, you're not alone in that. I'm getting whiplash from Scheana right now. And Sam's like, well, you have to have tough conversations. And Schwartz is like, I know. And Sam's like, it's not easy, dude. It's not easy back in old Sandoval. Lala still raging. I never in my life experienced someone who gets cheated on and suddenly she becomes God. Okay? Fucking gross. I'm sorry you didn't become God when Randall cheated on you. But you have a fucking career. You've got so much. But send this bullshit to Daryl. Like, this is ridiculous. And maybe, who knows? Maybe all these Amazon Lives and podcasts and you like doing a whole press tour after the reunion. Maybe it's because you realize like how fucking dark you went. Really, and the thing is, you're going to talk until you get people like Scheana to believe you. And you're going to keep doubling and tripling down, but you are like two sides of the same coin with Sandoval at a certain point. Just never admit defeat, never admit you're wrong. It's like a bummer. Like this is the part where I was like, oh, this sucks, man. That's a real bummer. You can say, oh, Ariana backed. Oh, she didn't film. Oh my God. She was there the whole time. I feel like we got more action out of Ariana than we did Lala until this very scene. And also, Lala, say it with your whole chest. Maybe you'll do it at the reunion, but fucking say this shit to Ariana. Pull her aside and get into it with her. Do that scene. I don't know. It really bums me out. Lala's better than this. Lala on a talking head says, I love filming this show because it's real. I find it to be tremendously healing. You find the paycheck to be tremendously healing. Like I don't know. Lala all of a sudden trying to be the narrator of the show just doesn't fly at all for me. I don't trust you at all. Why would I take you are the one that understands how all this works? She's like, and for Ariana to walk out this way is just such a slap in the face. What were you guys supposed to do? Like a fucking football huddle where you all put your hands in and go break? Like, what did we not get? I'm so sorry you had such a boner for having her do some kind of crying scene with Sandoval. Sorry, call up Randall and do it. And maybe we'll get it from that way. Like maybe do that. Maybe throw yourself on the pyre. Maybe save the show yourself if you feel like this show needs saved. Sorry, I'm angry, you guys. Ariana to walk out. She's like, this is what we do. She goes, this is what we do. You're not in the fucking army, Lala. You're on Vanderpump Rules. This is what we're soldiers. Go touch grass. What are you talking about? She's like, we've been doing this for most of our adult lives. Ugh. They begin a montage. This is really schmaltzy where they're really trying to get you to tear up. And I did. It worked. They begin a montage of all the cast showing their youthful pictures of starting on the show. And they have this kind of interesting song of what if I paint myself a smile, do my face up like a clown? Will I never have to know how it feels to be down like a balloon, always high, never ever low? And Lala continues in her monologue, we've all experienced high highs and low lows. And there's a responsibility that comes with living your life on camera. You have to be truthful even when it becomes extremely uncomfortable. Oh, this is the monologue I wish Scheana should have had, because if people are saying, oh, the end of the series, we started the series with Scheana in season 1. We should end it with Scheana, but this is not the end. I'm highly confident in that. But this is all hot air to me. It's hot air. It looks good. It feels good. And she's like, but I don't feel like she practices any of this shit. It's like, anyways, the song continues on. Yes, maybe I could try. And we get all these flashback pictures of them young, and you see like a young Scheana and a young Lala, and it really does pull on those heartstrings because you've traveled a long distance with this cast. Lala continues on in the talking head. I watched James live his authentic life. Scheana has, Tom and Katie. I feel I have. Of course you do. But there was a time that I was not honest about what was going on in my life. And we have a flashback to Katie going, I'm also sitting here with someone pretending they don't have a married boyfriend. And Lala was like, I don't have a married boyfriend. Lying very easily. Lala and a talking head continuing, and it was suffocating. I don't feel that Tom and Ariana were ever honest about their relationship until Tom was caught cheating. Great that you feel that way. Give us examples. There better be fucking examples at the reunion. Because what do you mean by that? What do you mean? Tell us exactly. Treat me like I am as dumb as I am and tell me what you mean. Lala goes on, and you think that you get to be honest for one moment, then you get to pack it all away and all is good? Fuck that, Lala says. Well, you certainly packed away Randall pretty quickly. We got to move on pretty quickly from that. Hot potato is a weird game, but like, you are not the director or the producer of the show. It's just a bitter Betty. The song plays, wake up early, get some rest, push that weight off of your chest, tell us you're going to move on. Katie in the talking head says, sometimes you have to stick to your fucking boundaries if your piece is more important than that. Fucking stand your ground. Boom! Katie. Fucking legend right there. That's great. Even if you don't like Ariana, that's solid. That's what we should be doing. That's what women should be doing, right? Ariana in a talking head goes, we live these difficult parts of our lives on camera, but if it's something that's actually really mattered to you, regardless, you would do it anyways. He's never tried to talk to me off camera. He could have written something in a fucking letter and left it on the kitchen counter, and I could have read it at my leisure. But if you would only do it on camera, to me, you just showed your true colors. Ariana fucking like, this is what's so ridiculous. Like, Tom, just find a place where you can actually feel sorry, because you're not going to win. You are not an effective communicator. You don't make any sense, so much so that I feel bad for you at times. You're not like, Ariana makes sense. Lala leaving the whiskey event with Scheana. She's like, well, it happened. I fucking broke and I knew I would break. Yeah, we know. You planned it. You're so tough. Song finishes, 'cause life just brings a tear to my eyes, to my eyes. We hear a producer goes, that's the end. A camera focuses on the San Francisco city night skyline. We hear Schwartz's voice. That was a fucking plot twist. And then we hear Sandoval's voice. I love it, dude. It's good for me. And then he turns into the Joker. He's like, why so serious? It's so creepy. It's kind of like Sophie tweeted this of like, it's like the final part of the Jinx when he's like, of course I killed them all. Of course. Like, this is it right here. It's good for me, dude. Rock and roll. Tom Sandoval win the season, hands down. It's right there, man. And I'm so happy that they left that in. And that's why you got to kind of push back sometimes on, saying production, oh, this Tom Sandoval redemption arc. They only gave it as much as, they tried, but they only gave it as much as Tom would let them get. And Tom like ruined it every opportunity, every angle. Like, what? And by the way, Tom Sandoval on Watch What Happens Live afterwards was like, oh no, dude, what I meant was, and it didn't make any sense what he actually says. And like, Andy didn't really push back at all, but it made no sense. Also in Watch What Happens Live, he said, when he exploded, he's like, oh, Ariana hates all of you. She talks shit about all of you. Tom said on Watch What Happens Live, he's like, listen, I was being like a little crazy, it's kind of being like, just like, exploded, but that's like not really the case. So it's like, you can't really trust anything this guy says. I feel, God, man. But I said this, we watched that moment and immediately my feeling was you feel very empty because you're watching a show about friends who aren't really friends. So there's like this emptiness there. It's like you eat a whole chocolate cake and you just feel gross. Jeremiah wants, oh yeah. So then we go to the after show where Jeremiah's like, let's talk about the conversation we had at the party. And Ariana's like, well, being this is the last few moments of filming and there's not been one mention the entire summer that is showing me anywhere near remorse or kindness coming in my direction from Sandoval. He knows this is the last moment he will have to redeem himself with the audience. So really hitting that thing of like, she nailed it. And by the way, she knows how Tom operates more than anybody else. Remember, Tom tries to school his women in how to be a reality show person. So she knows his game. And I don't mean his game is so lascivious and dark, because Tom, at the end of the day, in his better moments, just wants to be good, just wants the show to be good. But in the darker moments, it is like flipping narratives and really trying to angle it a certain way. But, she's right. Anyways, Sandoval in his little after show, because they keep flipping back between characters, Sandoval's like, I thought we could have a left shell shock conversation maybe. And Schwartz is like, what's done is done, dude. And Jax is in that after show with them too. He's like, it's like, how can I make your life easier? And Sandoval is like, because they were talking about like, oh, seeing Ariana at the reunion, and he's like, Jackson's like, maybe just like see like how you can make her life easier. And Sandoval's like, well, she's gonna tell me that she wants me to die, dude. Ariana then in a scene goes, well, after the trip to San Francisco, I came back to the house, and it's rare that me and Tom cross paths, but he was laying on the sofa in the TV room, and I was in the kitchen, and apparently he didn't need to say something to me that bad in San Francisco because he didn't say anything in that moment, and we were in the same room. He knows how to email me because I see his letters of intent about the house. But for him, it needed to be said on camera. It needed to be in the zeitgeist and the collective conscious of the viewers. It had nothing to do with me. I think she fucking nails this. Like I like that's dead on. Like, how are you going to art? Like, that is so the summation of what we've seen. And Jeremiah asks, will you ever forgive him? And Ariana goes, well, I have no desire or need for that. And Katie says, well, you can also forgive him without even letting him know, which I thought was great. Sorry. Sandoval says in his scene, he's like, she's pretty stubborn, one of her strengths. At this point, I would like to talk to her. Maybe at the reunion. And Jackson's like, yeah, she can't walk away there. and Schwartz is like, yeah, she can. Jeremiah then is like, hey, let's talk about Sandoval approaching. And Ariana's like, well, what makes a better moment? Sandoval crying again or somebody defiantly leaving? So Ariana's positioning that to the producers of like, okay, well, we've seen Sandoval cry every season, but what about a woman defiantly leaving? Like, why isn't that just as entertaining as Sandoval crying? And I think that's great of challenging that, those thoughts, those like, oh, this is what creates a show. No, what creates a show is when we know something is real. And I really, and listen, I will, I don't want to give away too much. Well, I just also will say that I think it probably, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think it was probably a relief for Ariana and Katie maybe to see how a lot of people responded to this, because they probably felt a lot of pressure and probably were made to feel really bad for not completely opening up to Sandoval. So it must be highly gratifying to see people respond to this, to actually people see the reality of their situations and what they were trying to be pressured into doing. Anyways, Katie goes, I'm not mad that they were all mad about it. Like, I'm not mad that Ariana left. And then this is where we get to Lala. This is where Lala, to me, really ruined. Like, I was already upset. And to me, this just pushed it over the edge where I was like, this is not necessary. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Because it was just so fucking, this was so fucking gross to me. I'm trying to find it to play for you guys. One sec.
Coast through every single season. And we're asking you to have one conversation with Tom Sandoval. You know, the guy you shoved down our throats for so many years, that guy who you still live with. We're asking you to have one conversation, and you can't do that. Every single person on this show have the tough conversations. We have Brittany here who literally heard audio. I'm sorry to take you back to this place.
It's all right.
Heard audio of
It's okay.
her man doing whatever with one of her friends. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Everyone, guess what? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. And this bitch showed up living her life on camera, what she signed up for, because she's a strong bitch, okay? As her friend, I completely understood and respected what she did. But it's hard as one of the people who had a lot of those moments this season, i.e. Tahoe and meditation. That was a lot of convincing to get me to go back into that moment with him. I'm sorry. I still hate you.
Doesn't mean you have to be best friends with Sandoval.
I'm not going to be.
Exactly, but it's about talking through that and in this setting for that.
But then I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm here to do. And we're all trying to heal and move on. And this is what I'm here for.
She's like, this is a surprise. She told us she ain't going to be filming with him.
I don't communicate with Tom Sandoval.
Part of me wishes she would, because I love the drama.
Honestly, it would be good for her to kind of close that door and move on. I find it very difficult because ever since I've been in this group, I've been under scrutiny. And I had to be honest about the hardest things I've ever spoken about in my life, which I've never had that conversation with anybody. I've carried it with me for 8 years. I just feel like I'm not entitled to have these feelings because my kids are the ones that miss out on this. So then to have that kind of like boundary set by Ariana, I would prefer her to have that conversation or be open to it. And maybe that's why all year I was nagging at that.
Part of me also thinks that she 100% stuck her foot down and didn't have the conversation with Sandoval because she knows that she's going to hate what he has to say. He's not going to say anything she wants to hear. Yeah. Let's just be real. He's going to say some egotistical bullshit. She's going to hate it and it's going to ruin her night.
I sympathize with the fact that she doesn't want to do that. And it's probably too soon.
Yes.
That's fine.
Too soon.
But at a certain point, too, in our relationship, we were not being open and honest. And other people were. And I found that unfair.
Yes, you were not being honest. You were cheating on her.
She doesn't want to speak to me. Especially how things ended. Definitely the hardest season by far. Hardest conversations I've had. The guilt I feel. The people around me who got hurt through the process, like Schwartz. And other people, it weighs on me a lot. I feel awful about it. It is what it is. It happened. I'm glad I showed up. I'm glad I had the conversations that I had, that I faced it. It's still going to be a long road ahead. But I'm going to keep showing up. And I'm going to keep having those hard conversations.
I can't fault her for that. It's an honest reaction and a snap judgment, a snap decision from the heart. Completely warranted. There's so many times I wish I could have just walked away. My God, there's a fucking highlight, the worst highlight reel ever playing through my mind right now.
Oh my God. I'm Tom Sandoval. I'm gonna keep showing up, having the tough conversation, taking like the dip pills and rock and rolling. I just hate when they pat themselves on the back. Like, you really do need to touch grass. Everybody in this cast, it's like this whole, we show up and have the tough conversations. Also Brock, I get that you don't want to talk about your situation with your kid and you open up on the show, but also you were in the wrong there. And I'm saying this with love in my heart. Ariana was not in the wrong here. Tom Sandoval needs to open up, you genuinely seemed like you felt bad about it. Sandoval still hasn't seemed to be felt bad about anything except for how he potentially treated Scheana. Also, I'm still missing that. I didn't have the part of the really bad Lala part where she says, I'm going to be a real, she coasts through the season. We were asking you to have one fucking conversation and you can't do that. We are asking you to have one fucking conversation. Well, let us see that scene. Where is the scene of you guys asking her to have this one conversation? Break that fourth wall further. Let's see it. Let's see that scene. Let's see you, Lala, let's see those scenes of you trying to come at Ariana saying, please have this conversation. And her going, fuck you, Lala. Where's that scene? Show it to us. Because now it makes it seem like it's completely false reality that you guys are just staging shit that she's not participating in. It makes us seem, it's like I'm less trustful of somebody like Lala because it's wait, what was going on behind the scenes? We're big enough, we can put on our big girl panties and big guy panties and actually see that if that's what's happening. Like, show us. Don't just tell us. You're so angry. But each one of these people have skeletons in their closet. Some of them have still not come out yet. And also, Ariana did talk about it all season long. She just didn't talk about it with Sandoval. She talked about it with you, Brock. Like, she talked like she was not like a brick, like she wasn't just a wall. She actually had conversations. Anyways. Jeremiah says, would you say the people who are upset that what would you say, Ariana, to the people who are upset that you didn't have that conversation with Tom? Like I said earlier, Ariana said, well, read my contract. That goes for every single cast member on these shows. They exercise it all the time. Brock talks about Tom being a big brother to him in the after show. Tom has been there. He's like, Tom has organized everything, all of the events. If we are left to our own devices, we don't know how to schedule a thing. I like that. Like, we should forgive Tom because he knows how to work an Excel document. Scheana says that I don't think Brock has been around long enough to make that judgment about Ariana. She says Ariana has been an incredible friend to me, but they built they built that friendship. Lala and Brittany. Lala's like, yes, Sandoval went above and beyond. And Brittany's like, yeah, look at our wedding. He did very meaningful things. Yeah, they flash back to that wedding and he did very meaningful things. And remember, Jax shat all over him. Everybody is so weird on this show. Brock says Ariana lets simple things become monumental things in her mind. But that's what I'm talking about. Sandoval is lucky enough where he doesn't have a mind that prevents him from like doing these big things. But Ariana, like, I've never related to something so hard of like, I'll do that too. I let simple things become monumental things and it'll literally freeze me and freeze my progress because I'll just be like, and it'll be like so simple. Just be like, oh, sit down and do this. And I'll be like, I can't. Like, it will like fucking freeze me. Lala, then this is the other quote. Lala says, yeah, she becomes God. She goes, the entire world became so indifferent to the entire world was so indifferent to her. No one ever spoke to her. And now what she says goes. And the way she says it with such vitriol and hatred is like, it really grossed me out. You got to watch the after show just for this. Like, the entire world was so indifferent to her. And it's like, that's what I love about the world. Is that somebody can have talent and really inspire people, and it might not show up for a long time. And then the mixture of the wrong things in the right time, something happens, and anything can happen, anything. And that's the magic of life. I mean, Lala, when you said send it to Daryl in regards to Rachel's email, you never thought that could actually put a down payment on a house. But look at it. Anything can happen. Anything in this life. And I think that's what's great about it. Scheana says, how the fuck are you going to go let her run her? Oh, no, I was like, Scheana, when you see this, Lala saying this, your girl, how the fuck are you going to let her run her mouth like that? Like, I feel like Lala crosses a line in this after show that I don't know how you would come back from. But like, we're talking about friendships. Like, how much are people going to let this cast like kind of beat up on Ariana just because they won't do a scene with Tom Sandoval, who's kind of gross? And why do we have to go by this old rubric that Sandoval's the one that makes this show go around? What if we like explore different options? But DJ James Kennedy immediately to this, he goes, that's such a law thing to say. And you can break that down. DJ James Kennedy actually seems like he's working, with a brain here. Brock is like, no one would think this would have the impact that it would. None of us would think it. And DJ James Kennedy's like, listen, she's grateful, Ariana. She's working her ass off. Are you kidding me? Ariana then in her scene says, I worked hard to be decent at what I'm trying to do. I took acting classes, theater, and at a point in time, regardless of what happened, I was working hard. And it's like, how dare she feel good for herself and find success without being dramatic or like just labeling her an egomaniac. And Scheana says, I don't think it's jealousy with Lala because Lala herself has built an empire. Yeah, it's like, yeah, everybody can build empires. But Scheana's like, well, I don't think it's jealousy with Lala. And I'm like, what do you think it is at a certain point? Like, I don't want to believe the jealousy thing either, but at a certain point, you've got to understand how it reads on camera. It's like the show shows us things. So is it the show's fault and how it's edited together that it does come off like really hardcore jealousy? And that's the thing I didn't understand either, is because Scheana's right. Lala does have her own empire. So I don't get it. She says, I think Lala was at her breaking point. She had a lot of tough conversations. Her and Katie were at each other's throats, Scheana says, this season. And after she got cheated on, she still showed up. But yeah, she still showed up, but Randall didn't have to show up. So it's different. Like, how would have Lala reacted if Randall kept having to show up on show? It would be much different. Lala lost her mind when Schwartz played pickleball with him. But it's that coulda, woulda, shoulda Monday morning quarterback thing. Scheana says, she's like, Katie and Lala, did they wish they got more love from the group when they got cheated on? We all felt that way in the group. You can still be happy for that person and still wish you had gotten love, Scheana says. Lala says off camera, everyone was pissed off at Ariana, how she maneuvered through the season. All of a sudden, what Ariana says goes. No one questions it. So I want to know more about that comment. Lala says everyone off camera was pissed. So what does that mean, Lala? What conversations were you having? Do you mean Alex Baskin? Do you mean the cast? Like, what is it? But that's the thing with like groups, though. You can get people talking shit pretty quickly. And I wonder if Lala was like the ringleader in a lot of that. Brittany says in the scene with Lala, she's like, it sounds like you might need to move to the Valley. Scheana says it took a lot of time to get to the San Francisco conversation. With Ariana, Scheana says she was losing sleep and losing weight. She was not herself. Ariana in her scene says, listen, I never told her, Scheana what to do. I always held space for her, but I am not Sheena's diary. And I thought that was brilliant. Like, yeah, it's like, Scheana, you do not have to tell me all of this stuff. But there were so many fascinating conversations in this. Now, we got an article that came out right as I was starting this recap 8 hours ago. And I thought this was very interesting. Page 6, our boy Evan Reel is reporting. And I thought this was interesting. And at the end of the day, I think is false. But let me read it for you. Okay, it says, according to page 6, Lala Kent is in talks to join season 2 of The Valley. If it happens, she's still expected to take part in the next season of Pump Rules. How about taking part in none of it? No, listen, I am hearing from my source is that this is not a full-time cast member position, but it would be more like it was this season where you would have cameos with Scheana and Lala as well, is that there would just be crossovers. That's what I'm hearing. But and just think about this logistically too, is that the Valley doesn't need another cast member right now. They're getting pretty decent ratings. Nobody needs to save the Valley right now. So you don't need to add that storyline, even if it might make sense in some ways. And the other thing is, remember, Bravo and these production companies do not throw money hand over fist at these shows. They keep budgets really, really tight. So I don't think they would actually pay Lala her salary unless Lala is willing to take a deep pay cut just to be on TV, which I don't know. But also my first thought when I read that is like, oh, is that a bone that they threw her for potentially being a production pet in certain ways this season? That was a thought I had as well. But yeah, I saw that came out, and you just never know with these things. Remember, we can put out anything at any time and get a little traction on it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be true, or there can be like a little piece of truth to it, but not all the way true, if that makes sense. I think that's it, folks. I think we did it. We got to the end. There's so much other Bravo news coming up or going on that I do still need to talk about, maybe in Friday's episode when I recap the Valley, but a lot of other stuff going, some OC news, all of this. But yeah, that's it, folks. We made it. The reunion, the first 7 minutes are online. You can already say Sandoval already kind of like calls Rachel a coward in the first 7 minutes. So you're like, okay, man, let the growth continue. Let the growth continue. Oh, I don't want to leave you guys, but my voice is thrashed and I've pretty much said everything that I possibly could say, but we've done it. We've gotten to another season. We all are going to be doing the reunion. So we're not done yet. And we'll be talking with guests about all of this because there is just so much craziness, because I just think it's one of those things that you try to make sense of it. And no matter how you cut it, you can't really make sense. You can't really make full sense of it. And I really just want to understand where Lala is coming from. And I just feel like she is ruled by anger. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the audio clip of Lala's podcast where she was like, fuck everybody. I'm not going to talk about this. Like I'm done talking about season 11 after the reunion. I'm done. And it looks like she's like throwing a hissy fit on her podcast, but it's like, of course you're done talking about it. You spent the last month and a half like talking mad shit, even off of the show. You must be exhausted about talking about it. But just because shit doesn't go your way, like I don't know. I think always true heroes, and I would go for Sandoval as well, are people that like actually listen, take something in, and, you know, actually kind of respect the audience in a certain way. It doesn't make you less than to realize, like, to watch your behavior and go, I don't necessarily understand fully what I was doing in these scenes. I don't know, but it was just, I feel like Lala, unfortunately, is one of the losers of the season, when the loser of the season should have just been Sandoval and then Schwartz. And then like it was just so easy. But I don't know, maybe a lot of you guys agree with Lala. And of course, I want to leave room for that. This is just how I see things. So I know people get really upset if they disagree. So I hope everybody's leaving. Let's all leave. It's good. It's fun. We did it. I'm so happy we're done. We did it together as a family. So that's great. I'm just trying to find something funny to play for you guys. Where? Oh, here. Okay, let's leave you with this. Let's see.
I can't believe
What?
that Tom Sandoval had Raquel over when Ariana's away.
I know.
In the
I know.
jacuzzi
I
as
know.
well.
What?
And she stayed all night, yeah?
I know. Are you?
Believe that.
Are you spreading
I
rumors?
Marky,
can't believe that. Have a great Thursday, you guys. I'll talk to you very, very soon. If you like this show, remember to leave it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I know that's a pain in the butt, but it really does help the show. I really do appreciate it. And hey, chumps, if you're listening from Jeff Lewis, we did it, man. Woo! Okay, bye, guys.